Keep up with racing in Maryland and the Mid-Atlantic all year long with the Racing Biz. Find them at theracingbiz.com and make sure to download their free mobile app.
And a very good Saturday to you, racing fans. Welcome to the Morning Line on TVG. Rich Perloff with you from Los Angeles, California. I will hold down the fort here, but we've got people deployed everywhere because it's that kind of a Saturday. Hopefully, you've been with us throughout the morning for that great action from Ascot. A couple of world-class performances on tap there at British Champions Day. You just watched race number 6. They crossed the wire. You can look for those prices on the website at tvg.com. Going to have a lot of attention today on Laurel, Maryland, because it is Jim McKay Maryland Millions Day, and we have people out there at Laurel to bring you all of that action. Here's the lineup. So once upon a time, back in 1986, as I recall, this was just called Maryland Million Day, but Jim McKay, the late great sportscaster, had a major hand in putting together this state-bred program that kind of tracks along with the Breeders' Cup, which only started a couple of years earlier, and now every state does something similar, but Maryland was first, and that is a great race program out there at Laurel. We got Kate Bradar and Frank Vespi standing by to bring you all that action on Jim McKay Maryland Million Day. Money back special. We know you like to get your money back when your horse runs second or third. And at Laurel today, up to $10 per race. Your first $10 of win money is eligible for the promotion. If your horse runs second or third, you get that money back. tvg.com/promos to find out more. And with that, let's check in for the first time out there in Laurel, Maryland. Kate Bradar and Frank Vespi, and on the cusp of yet another Maryland Millions Day. All the states have these kind of state-bred programs nowadays, but Maryland was the first.
They do indeed, Rich, and great imitators, perhaps the sincerest form of flattery. Jim McKay would be so proud, as you mentioned. He's the man that came up with the idea and really wanted something, Frank, that would put Maryland and the homebred product, so to speak, on full display, and other tracks took notice of what a success it was, but everything else kind of was an imitation of this event, and how it's grown has been amazing into one of the signature events in the state.
Yeah, it's absolutely, it really is, to people around here, the second most important day of the year. The Preakness, obviously, is the Preakness. Maryland Million is kind of the party you throw for your family. You know, these are the people you really care about, and so this is really a major, major day, and it's very important, not just for the bred angle, but for the sired angle. These are our Maryland sired horses, very important to the stallion industry, and so it's a fun day, and it's a really important day for the state and the racing product here.
And you mentioned the party. It's kind of a party for all things Maryland. We'll see a little bit of the best on display, not just in terms of the racing, but also entertainment in between the races. There'll be pony races. There's a chance to kind of show off various equine disciplines, if you will. And as a new twist this year, just down from us, there is going to be a rockin' concert going on all afternoon, which is kind of an added twist a la the Stronach Group to kind of try to bring in a new audience to those who are already attending and know what a great event this is.
Yeah, it should be. It's going to be interesting to see how the concert goes, but you mentioned all the Maryland stuff. There's even a horse named Crab Cakes.
And Crab Cakes, a previous winner here, will be one of the shorter price favorites on the day, I would think. Perhaps a single on your tickets. Did we mention that this is a great betting day? And speaking of betting, we look to the last couple races on the card as kind of the biggies, although each is a big race in its own right.
Sure.
The Classic, of course, will be race 11 on this 12-race program, and our coverage will start with race 1, which comes up at noon Eastern, but this one, the 11th, is interesting as the defending race champ didn't make it into the race this year. We scratched the alternates, and I think, Frank, makes it a bit more interesting here. How did you see this coming together?
This race is completely wide open. I mean, you got a 3-to-1 favorite, and the 3-to-1 favorite has never been 2 turns on the main track. And this is a 1.125 race. I think this race is is wide open. If you want to take shots at something, this is a spot to do it. Gary Quill, who handicaps on the racingbiz.com, made Crouchelli his long shot play of the day, the one horse in here. I like Clubman a little. I think Clubman's rounding into form coming into this spot. Ran pretty well in a tougher version of this race a year ago.
Yeah, I thought Clubman was interesting and was chatting last night at the gala where Sheldon Russell was there, and he was speaking to the difference in the way Clubman was coming into the Maryland Million Classic this year as opposed to last year, where he might have been tailing off just a little bit. This year he felt perhaps he was just peaking.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right.
And then, of course, we have race number 10, which will be on the all-along turf course. That is the Maryland Million Turf. And an equally full field, although I think some would believe a little bit more prohibitive type of favorite in there, or tougher horse to beat with Flash Phelps, but drawing a tricky outside post position.
It is a tricky outside post position, and I actually, this to me looks probably like a two-horse race. It's Flash, who won it in 15 and 16, and Talk Show Man, who won it in 14. I think Talk Show Man had an absolutely useful return to the races last out in the Laurel Dash when he was rallying to be fourth. I think he's going to run a really good race here. And as you said, it's a tricky outside post. Horses breaking from the outside here do not win going two turns on the grass.
Rich, we're going to have all the coverage starting very soon as we get Maryland Million Day underway at right around noon with the first of 12 races live here. We want to thank Christine Moore for our headwears, our chapeau.
Please don't look at me.
Kind of
laugh at me.
A little part of it. But I think it's interesting because I think the first Maryland Million you were on hand for was the first Maryland Million I was on hand for. I wasn't working. My husband and I just wanted to check it all out and had a great time, and we've never looked back. I've figured out a way to get to be here as often as I possibly could since the very beginning.
Yeah, it's a great day of racing. For me, it was absolutely coincidental. I had no idea that Maryland Millions Day was even happening. That just happened to be the only time I was in the vicinity of Laurel Racecourse with a day to spend.
And you know, the same friendliness that existed there, we were kind of the same boat. It was a bit of a coincidence, and it turned out to be a big day and a memorable day with the races, but also just the event and the atmosphere, which I think is the one signature part of Maryland Million Day. The people really make it, along with the great racing.
Kate Bradar and Frank Bestaby will be with us throughout the day to cover all the action on Jim McKay Maryland Millions Day. We will check back in with them shortly, but really, this is a great race card. Checker scratches and changes. A lot of horses coming out, but we'll still have representative field sizes, and we got 9 added money events there. Couple towards the tail end of that list being run under starter conditions. The other ones, they're open races for the Maryland bred and sired horses. Jim McKay Maryland Million Day, and the cash back promotion is in effect for you. Your first $10 of win money per race qualifies for the promotion. Get your money back if your horse runs second or third. If your horse runs first, well, you have nothing to worry about. Just go cash your ticket. We're taking a break. We will return with more of this Saturday edition of the Morning Line right after this.
It's the AQHA Bank of America Challenge Championships at Los Alamitos Racecourse on Saturday, November 17th, featuring great stakes racing action with many of the top stars. Plus, fans will receive a limited edition Bank of America Challenge Western Buckle free. Los Alamitos will also host an on-track handicapping contest with seats to the 2019 National Handicapping Championships in Las Vegas. It's the Bank of America Challenge Championship, a Western Buckle giveaway, and the NHC Handicapping Contest, Saturday night, November 17th at Los Alamitos Racecourse.
Cash in for TVG's October bonus bucks. Get a 10% trifecta bonus every day in October. Today, bet British, Irish, and Swedish tracks for a 10% bonus on trifectas. Opt in at tvg.com/promos. Play today. Today, get cash back for finishing second or third at Laurel Park on Maryland Million Day. We'll refund your first win wager up to $10 on all Laurel Park races for Maryland Million Day. Opt in at tvg.com/promos. Hit it and split it. Today, score extra cash when you play the Late Pick 4 at Pocono Downs on Breeders' Crown Elimination Night. Hit the Late Pick 4 to split an extra $2,500. Details at tvg.com/promos. New to the TVG team, welcome Danny Cloppinger, a football insider and sideline reporter for the Rams and Seahawks. Danny delivers timely news updates and vital sports betting information. Catch Danny on More Ways to Win. Sunday mornings, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific.
CashNet USA is trusted by over 3 million customers.
Perfect. When I lean back, I trust that you will be there to catch me.
Okay, bad idea, bad idea.
Apply now at CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
TVG today. 3-year-old fillies in the Grade 2 $250,000 Lexus Raven Run from Keeneland. Coverage brought to you by WinStar Farm. Watch and wager today. 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. TVG's coverage of live racing is brought to you by Keeneland, selling more graded stakes winners than all other North American sales companies combined.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Line. Rich Perloff with you from Los Angeles. We were focused today on the Jim McKay Maryland Millions program, but last night they did something similar in Oklahoma. It was Oklahoma Classics night, and we are joined, as we always are, for some RPI by Kelly O'Hara. Okay, Kelly, welcome to the program. I'm looking at these races, and it was a little bit chalky early on. We had back-to-back wins by horses that were 10 cents on the dollar, a couple of really talented Oklahoma breds, and then late in the card, the bomb started to fall. That late pick 4 was ridiculous.
Needless to say, I did not mention that it was a record-setting pick 4 payout.
I should think, yeah.
$78,000. Yeah, silly me, but but it was. You know, it kind of looked that way because Shotgun Cowboy was in the 6th race, so he did not hit the pick 4. And Gianna's Dream was the first race. Welder, those were the dominant horses last night. And when I say dominant, there's 3 amazing horses. Shotgun Cowboy, and he won as he pleased. It was his 3rd victory in the Oklahoma Classic Cup. You know, what are you going to say? The hometown favorite, C.R. Trout. Everybody loves trainer, owner, breeder C.R. Trout. And then Gianna's Dream, Corey Lannery came in to win for her. And I thought what was so cool is because we were off the turf and she was looking for her 3rd victory. She's never, ever run, not even win, on an off track. And she did that last night, so she can't say that any longer. She's a beautiful daughter of Twirling Candy. And Welder, what a monster he is.
Yeah.
He ran them off their feet once again under jockey David Cabrera, who actually won 2 classics with Shotgun Cowboy and Welder.
Yeah, Welder, I mean, when he faces the Oklahoma breds, he's just unstoppable. And I think he went 109 and change, so he's an absolutely legit sprinter, and he can hold his own in open company when he tries that from time to time.
Oh, Rich, the last time on Oklahoma Derby Day, the David M. Vance was an open stakes race, and there were a few horses shipping in. Round Milquette had a couple. It was just a really strong field. That's when he really impressed me, because his running style, it doesn't matter. In that race, he went wire to wire. I mean, just guns a-blazing on Oklahoma Derby Day in the David M. Vance. And last night, he set off some speed and closed. I mean, I think he'll run over cut glass. He's really amazing.
So that was Oklahoma Classics night. We're talking to Kelly O'Hara out there at Remington Park. A gigantic payout in that late pick 4. I think there was a 5-2 shot in there. Everything else was 9-1 and up. And I see we've got a pick 6 carryover into today's program.
He doesn't do a hit, not a balcony hit, not an afternoon hit at 3:30. But I'll catch you during the races.
All right, that's Kelly O'Hara talking to us from Remington Park with the RPI. Your cash back for 2nd or 3rd qualifies all races today, up to $10 per race. Find out more on the website.
Imagine Kentucky without the horse industry and the thousands of jobs it creates. Imagine our schools, roads, and services deprived of the more than $1 billion annually horses generate for our economy. Fortunately, we've got someone in Washington who won't let that happen. As chairman of the Bipartisan Congressional Horse Caucus, Andy Barr is working to protect Kentucky's signature horse industry. Andy Barr, our voice for the men and women keeping Kentucky's unbridled spirit alive. Friends of Racing is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Nighttime racing at Los Alamitos is second to none, where the wagering action includes the biggest pulls in quarter horse racing, featuring the early and late pick fours, plus the richest stakes schedule in the sport with the biggest races like the Golden State Million Futurity, Los Alamitos Super Derby, plus the Champion of Champions and Los Alamitos 2 Million Futurity, and the biggest stars with the racing action called by Ed Burghardt, Los Alamitos Racecourse, where your best day of racing may be at night.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain or knee pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace or knee brace covered by Medicare at little to absolutely no cost to you.
Call 800-226-2182 right now to see if you qualify.
These professional-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, rheumatoid and osteoarthritis, spinal disorders, stenosis, and other painful back problems. Our medical-grade durable knee braces are designed for those with osteoarthritis and general knee pain and weakness. Our accredited staff will handle all of the Medicare paperwork, and best of all, your braces shipped directly to your home for free. Will you qualify for a Medicare-covered back brace or knee brace? There's only one way to find out.
Call the Back and Knee Brace Center at 800-226-2182. That's 800-226-2182.
TVG's Morning Line is brought to you by Keeneland Sales and Racing, investing in racing's future since 1936.
Welcome back to the Morning Line. Rich Perloff in Los Angeles. See that? See that back there? How'd we get 10 minutes into the program and not talk about the Super 8? Your free shot at $100,000. It is happening again today. It's free to play. TVG.com/Super 8. Got some great races to consider. And we're going to kick things off with the 6th race at Keeneland today. Turf course is yielding, so figure that into the mix. Race number 6 at Keeneland today will be on the turf. It's an entry-level allowance event at 5.5 furlongs. There's the field, and I'm not going to swing too far outside the lines here. I'm going to go to the horse on the rail, Taxman, who ran great in his North American debut. Here's a horse that previously had raced only in France, so does have some experience with the boggy going, came to Kentucky Downs and got up to win by a desperate head in his very first start. In North America, you know who he beat by a head? Fooch, who came back out of that race and demolished $40,000 maiden claimers at Belmont. So I'm going with the second choice on the morning line, co-second choice, Taxman on the rail under Julien Leparoux in race number 6 at Keeneland. From there, we make our first stop at Belmont Park. It is New York Showcase Day. A lot of state-bred stakes races there, including race number 8. This is the Sleepy Hollow Stakes, a $250,000 event. It's a one-turn mile. Scratch the 5 just right. Todd Pletcher had a couple entered here. He will go with the 10-horse La Fuerza. In fact, we had 3 uncoupled entries here, and those trainers, Gary Contessa, Michael Dilger, and Todd Pletcher, they each scratched one and will still be represented in this race. I'm going to go to a long shot here. There is so much speed in this race, I got to have somebody from off the pace, and I'm going to land on the remaining part of that Gary Contessa uncoupled entry, Pipes. Now, Contessa has always campaigned Pipes, who's a son of Exchange Rate, as though he thought this horse was going to be better on turf. Well, in an off-the-turf race on September 9th, Pipes sat just off the pace in a long one-turn race at Belmont Park, just like this, and he powered away to win by nearly 7 lengths. He is a legitimate one-turn long horse and who can sit off the pace. I think that plays very well for him. He probably gets bet down from that 20-1, but he would be my pick, the number 8 horse in the Sleepy Hollow Stakes, race number 8 at Belmont Park. Race number 9 at Belmont is the $250,000 Empire Distaff Handicap. Mile into 16th, long one-turn race at Belmont. I'll go to the 2-horse in here, Take Charge Aubrey, who's coming off a big win against state-bred second-level allowance optional claimers. Look at the race 2 back, though. At Saratoga, going 1 1/8 in the $200,000 Fleet Indian, Take Charge Aubrey under Jose Ortiz attempted to go wire to wire. He got tagged late by English Soul, who's also in this race. Take Charge Aubrey does not need to be on the lead. That race on September 26 demonstrates that he has that tactical option. He gets Castellano today. I will take him in the Empire Distaff Handicap, 5-1 on the morning line there. Going back to Keeneland, we skip over race number 7 and go to race number 8. This is a second-level allowance, 1.5 miles on the turf, and that leads me to part of the entry here, the Plane 1 Coco Chanel. Coco Chanel has had 2 prior 1.5 mile races, both at Keeneland and both in graded stakes races. Now, last time that Coco Chanel went this trip at Keeneland was on April 27th in the Grade 3 Bewitch, where she split a field of 7, checking in 4th in there. But look at the buyer figure. She put up an 87 buyer going 1.5 miles. If she does that against this field, I think she gets her picture taken. Sean Bridgmahan got to know her in her last couple of starts. I will go with Coco Chanel, part of the entry there in the 8th at Keeneland. Our Lone Santa Anita offering in the Super 8 today, $20,000 maiden claimers in race number 4. And I will go to the 9-5 morning line favorite Wild Verse here. This is a very simple angle. Wild Verse has been showing speed against better. Last time out, against $40,000 maiden claimers from the rail, Wild Verse actually led after a 1/2 mile. And I think that on the class drop here, that's going to be good enough to get that one to the wire. Heriberto Figueroa rode last time out. That 5-pound apprentice will be back aboard for the high percentage Peter Miller barn. Back to Belmont. For race number 10 is the Empire Classic Handicap. $300,000 is the purse in here. My selection in this race is the 5-2 morning line favorite, Pat on the Back. Only missed by a neck in the Evans Shipment at Saratoga last time out. Pat on the Back has always gone well at Belmont Park, never off the board in 7 tries at Belmont. Nice win in the Saginaw, 2 back going 1 mile into 16th. 1 mile and an 1/8 should not be an impediment. Dylan Davis has been this guy's regular pilot for trainer Jeremiah Engelhardt. So Pat on the Back in the 10th at Belmont. We go back to Keeneland for race number 9. This is the Lexus Raven Run. 7-furlong event, a grade 2 here. Field of 8 assembled for the Raven Run, and I'm sorry, this is the first part of the field. I'm going way to the outside here. I'm going to the 13-horse Bronx Beauty. Bronx Beauty, last time out, was 4th against some of the same horses she's facing today in the Grade 3 Charlestown Oaks. You know why I'm content to dismiss that race? Because 7 furlongs at Charlestown is a 2-turn race. Bronx Beauty is 5 for 7 lifetime. You know what her record is in 1-turn dirt races? 5 for 5. And she's put up buyer figures that I think will make her competitive in here. This is exactly what she wants. An elongated 1-turn race on dirt. Yeah, this is going to be her first time in the Grade 2 ranks, but I think she fits here. The outside draw should be to her advantage. So Bronx Beauty for me in the Lexus Raven Run. And then we're going to wrap things up at Keeneland with race number 10. These are maiden specials going 1 mile into 16th on the turf there. My selection in this race will be the 5-horse Appealing Audrey. This is a pedigree play. Appealing Audrey is a filly by Malibu Moon out of a Ballad Appeal mare. That may not sound like a turf-heavy pedigree at first glance, but this mare, Appealing Storm, a daughter of Ballad Appeal, has done nothing but drop turf runner after turf runner, and all of the good ones have been precocious. So in career start number 3, getting back on the grass, coming out of the Chris Block barn, I'm going to go with Appealing Audrey and jockey Jimmy Graham in race number 10 at Keeneland. And that is the way that I see the Super 8. I'm reaching for some prices today, but that's simply a function of the fact that some of these races are so wide open, it seems as though you don't want to settle for too short of a price, but you're going for the maximum number of wins. If you're the only player to get 8 out of 8, you cash for $100,000. There are consolation payouts for 7, 6, and 5. So make sure you get in at tvg.com/Super 8. Let's go back to Laurel. It is Jim McKay, Maryland Millions Day. Caton and Frank.
Maryland Million starter distaff to kick off this showcase day, and while it's a bit of a blue-collar group of horses, so to speak, in comparison to some of the others we might see a little bit later on the card, it has some grit as far as handicapping is concerned. Frank, I actually think you could shop a little for at least a little price.
I think that's right, Kate. No, I ended up personally on a somewhat obvious horse, but I mean, if you want to take a shot, and I know you want to take a shot in this race, I can't criticize that at all with these horses.
So 7 furlongs here, and fillies and mares who've started for $7,500 or less since October 22nd of last year. So in the last year, they've been running for a claiming price, and I think recency is just about as important as anything to me. At this point. The favorite was getting a lot of play early, and I think continues to maybe hold on to a narrow margin as the favorite, the 2 #selfie, coming off of a disappointing effort in the slop. But if you draw a line through the sloppy races, it's been right there. I like Choby Girl off the claim here for a really sharp claiming trainer in Mark Reed. But this is a money back special race. So we're going to use our top selections as the play for the money back special. And reminder to everyone watching and playing today that there's money back special offers on every race on Maryland Million Day. So jump in.
Absolutely. I ended up on the 8 here, who currently is the favorite. God, I hate to be there, but Mary Epler does a great job. That's Truly Hot. It's first off the claim for her. There's a lot of speed in this race, and I think this horse has a chance to inhale them all late.
So the distance at 7 furlongs, I think, makes a little bit of a difference for some of these horses, and particularly #selfie is going to have to maintain on the front end all the way. Do you see this race as having a lot of speed?
I do see this having some speed. I mean, certainly #selfie, the 12, No More Excuses, coming from, has been going 3/4 and 6.5, has plenty of speed, and it changes a little bit with the scratch of the 10 horse Unbridled Escape, who is another speed horse, but I certainly. So the short answer, yes, I think there is some speed here, and I think it's going to set up, you know, a horse like the one you have, who is a deep closer, a horse like the one I have, who's going to be running sort of mid-pack.
I'm kind of hoping that helps. Again, Choby Girl, who will be my top pick in here. The 3 sitting on the board at a pretty generous price of 6 to 1, a little shorter of the morning line odds, but still, I will take it if she can come home with the money. Choby Girl and Sheldon Russell teamed up for a second place finish for $5,000. So to be fair, this is a good step up in class for her.
Yeah, but you know what? None of these horses really, if this were an open starter, none of these would really fit in it. And so it is a Maryland sired, Maryland bred starter. And, you know, these horses are a little bit lesser, as you said. It is a pretty blue collar group.
She's by Great Notion and was bred in West Virginia. And that's one of the wonderful things, I think, elements of this Maryland Million Day, in that you can be bred in a different state as long as the sire was a part of the Maryland accredited sire program at the time. In this case, Choby Girl, a 5-year-old mare by Great Notion. And on the dam side, you've got Not for Love. So you've got some pretty solid credentials so far as Maryland Million sires are concerned.
In fact, Not for Love is the all-time leading Maryland Million sire with 36 wins. Great Notion is the leading active sire. He has 9 wins, which shows you he's got a ways to go. But those are certainly, you're not going to find better sire credentials in a Maryland Million race than those 2.
As they start to enter the starting gate in the distance, the music has started playing at the top of the first turn.
This will be an interesting afternoon.
Fans still coming in. There's a great beat, a good bass in the background here to set the stage, a little added drama here as a field of 11 will break. Dave Rodman will call the action, and it looks like the favorite at 9 to 5 right now is Truly Hot, daughter of Pollard's Vision, who is second in her most recent. Off the claim for Mary Epler. We'll see if it was a quick, nice investment and return on investment if one of these off-the-claim horses can get the job done. I'm on the 3, Choby Girl, and Frank, you're on the 8, Truly Hot, correct?
That is where I ended up, although if I'd known it was going to be less than 2 to 1, I might have ended up someplace else.
Let's head upstairs to Dave Rodman for the rest of the load and the call. The first of 12 on Maryland Million Day is the Maryland Million Distaff Starter Handicap, 7 furlongs for fillies and mares and a purse of $50,000.
Northern Prancer, Stormy Mama, No more excuses. Last one moving in. Lined up. And they're off. Jim McKay, Maryland Million Day. No more excuses on the outside. Very quick out of the gate from #selfie. And Truly Hot is right there, a close third. Proud Maid Marion is next in fourth, and it's a gap of 2 more lengths. And Northern Prancer is next in fifth, and Stormy Mama 6 far outside. Include Gold and Choby Girls on the inside, and Nancy R racing back of the pack with Gimme Kimmy and Value Added. About 16 lengths will cover the field. The opening quarter went in 23.28 heading onto the far turn. And it's no more excuses. Quick out of the gate from the outside post all the way over to the rail. Has the lead now by just about a half length. On the outside is #selfie in second, another 2.5, and Truly Hot is in third. Stormy Mama is racing fourth. Include Gold trying to get underway, about 3 deep on the track. Same for Gimme Kimmy, who follows that move. Midpoint on that turn, the half went in 46.53. They're racing toward the quarter pole in the top of the lane. #selfie. #selfie takes the lead at will, chased by Truly Hot, driving on the outside in the second spot. Then it's No More Excuses is backed off in third, and Stormy Mama is in fourth, and Gimme Kimmy is fifth. They're headed to the final furlong, and it's #selfie. #selfie now put to pressure, leads by 3 lengths from Truly Hot. Open scramble for third. Choby Girl on for a share, latest 16th to go. #selfie and Carlos Carrasco to win by 2 lengths. Truly Hot was second, then Choby Girl and Gimme Kimmy, and then it was Stormy Mama, Value Added.
Well, pretty formful start as #selfie gets to take a picture. Daughter of medalist, winning under Carlos Carrasco with Claudia Gonzalez, a familiar face in the winner's circle here on Maryland circuits.
Yeah, he is a win machine for sure, and maybe they're a little bit later today as well. Interesting side note, this horse was bred by Mike Harrison. He's also the breeder of Talk Show Man, who's going in the turf later on today.
283, Choby Girl did make up some ground from back, but not enough, as the horses that led the way early are right there at the finish. 283 unofficially, #selfie in the winner's circle to kick off Jim McKay Maryland Million Day.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known secrets about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. Call right now for your free book, and as a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report. We researched over 1,200 annuities and summarized the rates and benefits of annuities from financially strong insurers. Again, that's Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and a free annuity rate report, both absolutely free, for calling Annuity General today. Supplies are limited. Call now.
Call 800-736-5802. That's 800-736-5802.
TVG tonight. Catch the Breeders' Crown eliminations as top pacers and trotters face off to qualify for the biggest night in harness racing. Brought to you by Diamond Creek Farm. Continues at Pocono Downs tonight, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. TVG's coverage of Jim McKay Maryland Million Day from Laurel Park is brought to you in part by The Mill, Maryland Horse Industry Board, and Christine A. Moore Millinery, the official milliner of Jim McKay Maryland Million Day. TVG's Breeders' Crown Elimination Race coverage is brought to you by Diamond Creek Farm, a cut above.
Welcome back to the Morning Line on TVG. We are off and running on Jim McKay Maryland Millions Day, #selfie. Taking down the opener there at Laurel Park. We'll have those prices for you shortly. I want to remind you about something that's coming up in the world of standardbred racing here on TVG. Live from Pocono Downs, Breeders' Crown Eliminations. Finals on Saturday, October 27th. So your eliminations on Friday and Saturday, 4 p.m. start Pacific time. Races 6 through 9, the late pick 4 there, you hit it and split it, is in effect $2,500 added to that pot if you cash that ticket via your TVG wagering account. Breeders' Crown rebate. Breeders' Crown rebate. 5% cash back on your bets at Pocono Downs. That is 1 week from today. Go to tvg.com/promos to find out how to take advantage of that. We're stepping away for a quick break. When we return, we'll start setting the table for a big program of racing at Belmont Park. We got action coming your way from Gulfstream Park West and, of course, Keeneland Racecourse in Lexington. Keep it tuned to TVG.
The Kentucky Derby is a race that we all want to capture. But what he did in the Florida Derby, that got me green.
But inside the 16th pole, the 2017 Florida Derby to Todd Pletcher, and always dreaming they won it by 4 in the end.
Anytime you ever would go to see him in his breezes or in his races, you knew that he was the real deal. You really would get excited about what he was going to do for the future. I'm Jacob West, and this season, I'm always dreaming.
Don't spend another fall season struggling. Make leaf cleanup easy with the incredible Cyclone Rake. The Cyclone Rake leaf vacuum hitches to any riding mower, letting you clear acres of leaves with sitting down ease. Every Cyclone Rake comes with our patented JetPath vacuum system, giving you maximum suction power. When you're done, the Cyclone Rake folds down flat and stores away easily in a garage or shed. End the fall struggle and visit CycloneRake.com to order or for a free information kit.
What I like most about our Run Happy Whelan is from day one, he's always been a very quality individual. Once you turn him loose in the field, he's all man and stands out. You put a lead rope on him and bring him back in. He's an absolute gentleman to be around.
Arabian Song's foal really stands out. She's been conformationally issue-free, probably the most leg that any of her foals have had.
For us handicappers, there's only ever been one way to play. Sure, I can bet my horse, but I can't lock my odds. But there is another way. Betfair has changed the game, with more ways to win. With Betfair, I can lock my odds, and I can bet during the race. You've got to try this out. Smart is the new lucky. Claim your $200 welcome bonus. Bet now at Betfair.com.
Log on now to America's largest online wagering company, TVG.
Formful start to the day, and perhaps a hunch play for a lot of people. #selfie. Getting the victory here in the first at Laurel. Daughter of medalist out of the rock slide mare Level With Me was bred in Maryland by Michael Harrison, trained by Claudio Gonzalez, ridden by Carlos Carrasco, and owned by Robert Bone. Second race, a little tougher. If Frank and I are right, it's kind of Powerball time for us.
Yeah,
we can parlay it. We
Get
put
out the wheelbarrow.
like some price shots here in the Maryland Million Turf Distaff Starter Handicap. It's $60,000 guaranteed, and 1 1/8 on a turf that has not been getting a lot of use lately because there has been an awful lot of precipitation in the area. So there's got to be some give to this course today.
Oh, for sure. I think that's absolutely right. The course is rated good, and I mean, in midweek even, people were saying, gee, I don't know if we'll be able to get on it, and they took off completely on Thursday. So I think you're going to be looking for a horse that, maybe likes it okay if it's a little bit softer.
Okay, Participate, even money favorite, no surprise there. 5-year-old mare from the rail, was a winner last out in a starter allowance. She has a nice record on the Laurel Turf. She has some tactical early speed on the rail. I'm going to try to beat her. My money back special play and top pick in this race is going to be the 10. Capuchin. And who did you like in here?
I like the 6, Oh So Lovely, from the Farrier barn. This is a horse that's won her last 2 on the turf, going short, but she's really bred to get her out of ground. She's by Frisian Fire out of a mare named Katie's Love, who is not for love mare, who did her best work around 2 turns.
This is where it could start to get interesting, although for the connections of the winner in the first and a lot of happy fans who bet on #selfie, we're looking pretty good to get this day started, Rich.
Frank, let's find some prices there, and it sounds as though we might jump right in race number 2. So we'll get back to you for more coverage of Jim McKay Maryland Millions Day. But now it's time to talk about another state-bred program that's happening at Belmont Park. It's Empire Showcase Day. A lot of New York-bred stakes races on the program. So we're going to take a look at the scratches and changes. Note, races 1 and 6 are off the turf. And that makes sense because they're the same race. They were a split. They were going to run that maiden special weight event in 2 divisions. They both come off. 1 and 6 are off. Everything else stays on. Fast on the main track. Turf courses at Belmont are good. And the temporary rail setting is 18 feet on both the inner turf and the outer or Widener turf course there at Belmont Park. Too many scratches and changes for me to track through here, but you can find them on the website, tvg.com. And it's going to be a good day of racing at Belmont, despite a couple of races coming off the turf, including the opener. So these New York-bred maiden specials are going to go 3/4 of a mile on the fast main track. Your main track only horses get to play. And we got a couple of them here. The 3-horse Tap It Tango. First-time starter was entered main track only by Rudy Rodriguez. Here's a 2-year-old son of Tapizar out of a Storm Boot mare, currently holding at 4-1. Your favorite at 2-1 is the 5-horse Early Retirement. Early Retirement is going back to the main track for only the 2nd time in his career. He debuted at Saratoga on a sloppy sealed track. That was a race that was washed off the turf, and he did show a little late interest rallying into the Superfecta. He goes with blinkers on today. He's coming out of the David Donk barn. So he's making career start number 5. He's back on the main track. He's going to be racing on a fast main track for the first time, and he's currently at 2-1. Also entered main track only, the 13, Rougier, I'll take a guess. He also goes with blinkers on. He comes out of the Gary Contessa barn. He's a little chilly on the tote at odds of 11-1. Second choice here at 7-2 is the 12, Thorny Tail, yet another first-time starter. 2-year-old gelding by 40 Tails. George Weaver sends him out. Eric Cancel has the mount on Thorny Tail, and I'm going to be putting Eric Cancel on top in one of the races in the early pick 4 that begins with race number 2. I will have a ticket to show you on that sequence. But the horses are still in the paddock there. We're 12 minutes away from the opener at Belmont Park, so we'll take the opportunity to duck away for another quick break. You're watching The Morning Line on TVG.
I can't believe they charged me this much. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Go to CashNetUSA.com now. If approved, you may get the money you need as soon as tomorrow.
Thanks. Who are you?
I'm CashNetUSA.com. Man.
Apply now at CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
The Pons family's Country Life Farm is celebrating our 85th anniversary. Established in 1933, Country Life is nationally recognized for making such stallions as Malibu Moon and this year's Grade 1 sire, Frisian Fire. Our beautiful training center at Maryland Farm allows us to offer full service from the foaling barn to the racetrack. Our popular racing and breeding partnerships bring new faces to this exciting sport. Come join us. Get in the game with Country Life Farm.
It is time to meet the field for the opener at Belmont Park. As always, the beginning of the early 50-cent pick 4, and a reminder, races 1 and 6 come off the turf. They were a split. It was exactly the same condition, obviously. It was oversubscribed and then some. They were going to run it as 2 divisions, and so they will. It's still a split, but they will run it on the main track. 6 furlongs on the fast main track. Several scratches here. Take out the 1, Bobby Man, the 4, Crack Shot, the 6, Wacky Pal, the 10, Le Gros Bill. I think that's it. So I think we've got 9 remaining. Early Retirement, the 5-horse here, still is favored at 5-2. All right, getting back to dirt for only the second time. Debuted on dirt, but that was a race that was washed off the turf, and Early Retirement will be racing on a dry dirt track for the first time here. 2-year-old gelded son of Freud out of a Fappy's Notebook mare, and David Donk goes to the blinkers for the first time. Post parade begins with the 2 by Dawn's Early Light, who's currently at 13-1, was pressing the pace on a yielding turf course last time out for a half mile. Only a length back after a half mile, but then kind of slammed on the brakes. He, too, going to be on dirt for the first time here. 2-year-old son of More Than Ready, trained by Tom Albertrani. Here's the 3. First-time starter Tapit Tango, 2-year-old son of the Tapit stallion, Tapizar, coming out of the Rudy Rodriguez barn. Irad Ortiz Jr. rides the firster. Scratch the 4. Here's your favorite, Early Retirement. Manny Franco in the irons. He rode Early Retirement last time out in that race that was run over a yielding turf course. Scratch the 6. Here's another first-time starter that was entered main track only, Craigville Beach, 2-year-old son of Big Brown out of a Johannesburg mare. Hector Diaz picks up that mount. The 8, Mr. Muy Bien, has had 1 prior start, but it wasn't much against State Bred Maiden Specials at Saratoga, checked in 9th of 10. Here comes another first-time starter, Max Revolution. Now, originally, Joey Martinez was named on this horse. He's a 7-pound apprentice. Rajiv Mirage is not an apprentice, so instead of 112, Max Revolution has to tote 119 in his debut. First-time starter by the Warpath Stallion Revolutionary for trainer Edward Barker. Scratch the 10. Here's first-time starter Southern King, son of Animal Kingdom out of a Yes It's True mare. Yes, it's true. That generally means a little precocity. Thorny Tail, money continues to come in on that gelded son of 40 Tails. And another main track only horse, Rougere, who is now at 9-1. Gary Richards picks up the mount on Rougere for Gary Contessa. That is the field of 9 for race number 1 at Belmont Park. And we'll get back to Elmont for that one in just a bit. But right now, let's return to Laurel Park. It is the occasion of the Jim McKay Maryland Millions. There's Peyton Bradar and Frank Vespi.
This race kicks off a pick for the first of a few on the card today, and I thought maybe an opportunity where you could narrow a couple of fields down in the sequence. Some people, Frank, are going to be going with Participate in this race, I would think, as a single, maybe, but you and I both took the contrarian view that it wasn't that easy. I would actually spread in this race, but I would certainly use Participate.
Absolutely.
Draws the rail and has some speed. Do you see others that could challenge Participate, and how do you think that fares on a turf course that is listed good?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, and certainly unfortunately, you've got, as you pointed out, I mean, we've lost more than 80 races that were scheduled for turf during this meeting. So, how this course is going to play is going to be an interesting sort of handicapping test to keep an eye on here. Obviously, Participate is very live in this spot, as we talked about a little bit earlier. I'm going to be taking a shot. I know you're going to be taking a shot. We're going to be looking to beat Participate. Hasn't been out in 2 months. Did she get loose on the lead? I don't know. And, just sort of there are enough questions about her.
There's my horse, Capuchin. It becomes my horse when it becomes my pick, the money back special. But
we'll let the connections know.
To be more correct, she's owned by Silhouette LLC and was bred by Edmund Mudge in Maryland. She's a daughter of Courageous Cat, and at 5 is still running pretty competitively. She comes off of a victory, albeit against 7,500 non-winners of 2, and that is the knock, obviously. Sure. She's going to be facing much tougher as far as the amount of experience and wins, but I like the way she did it at Delaware. It was workmanlike. She came from a little off the pace, but she doesn't have to be quite as far back as she was in that one. To me, she's versatile pace-wise, position-wise, and also she's handled courses with some give in the ground. And she's won on the Laurel turf course, but she's been first or second in 6 of 12 tries. That's a pretty good batting average.
Yeah, she's been knocking against these sort of horses and doing it pretty competitively. And she's going to get Trevor McCarthy, who's really one of the top riders in the colony, up, and that's going to help her quite a bit.
She may need it to come from post 10. That's not the easiest task in the world, but
sure.
At least 1 1/8 miles to work out a trip, Rich. She is sitting on the board right now at pretty nice 6-1. I'll take that if I can get it here, but again, I'm thinking it's a spread race, although the public would differ with Participate, a pretty heavy favorite right now.
Participate odds on, but both Caton and Frank are looking to take a swing against that mare. We're back at Belmont, and we're getting closer to post time for race number 1. Something else we want to keep an eye on here at Belmont Park is the activity today of jockey Javier Castellano, because he's getting very, very close to a milestone. He is just a couple wins away from 5,000 in his phenomenal riding career, so we'll make sure we're tracking that so we know if and when he gets to that figure. Meanwhile, this off-the-turf state-bred maiden special weight race is taking on the look of a wide-open event. Got a field of 9 here, and I see lukewarm co-favorites at 3-1. Now, the 5 horse has been taking action throughout. Early retirement, new to the conversation, well, newly down to 3-1, is that first-time starter, Tap It Tango. That's always curious to me when a firster is entered main track only, but I'm not about to second-guess Rudy Rodriguez. Tap It Tango, you know what jumps off the page at me? I'm looking at the work tab here, and I see a couple of bullets. Rudy Rodriguez's horses, generally speaking, are not working bullets in the morning, but Tap It Tango, when he was up at Saratoga in early August, worked a bullet 5 furlongs, and more recently, on the 4th of September, worked 4 furlongs at Saratoga in 48 flat. Now, there were only a couple of horses on the tab that day working 4 furlongs, so that has something to do with it. But still, seeing bullets on a work tab for a Rudy Rodriguez-trained firster, little unusual. Tap It Tango, 2-year-old son of Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile winner Tapizar, and you know now that Tapizar can get any kind of a racehorse because he is the sire of premier 3-year-old filly Monomoy Girl. A couple of 3-1 shots, and then another first-time starter, Thorny Tail, is the 4-1 third choice in the wagering. Eric Consell gets the mount there for trainer George Weaver. Thorny Tail, debuting 2-year-old gelded son of the Tail of the Cat Stallion, 40 Tails. He was a good racehorse on his day, was 40 Tails. This one's out of a City Zip mare and is currently holding at 4-1. If you can get beyond those 3, then your mutual return goes up considerably. You're looking at minimum of 8-1 on anybody else. Over $250,000 in the Pick 5 pool, the early Pick 5 pool at Belmont Park. Yeah, I know it's a far cry from your lottery jackpot right now, but still, if you're a handicapper, you probably feel like you have slightly more to say about the outcome of a Pick 5 than you do about your your Mega Millions offering, which now they got to rename Mega Billions, evidently. All right, 5-2 on Tap It Tango. This one right here. As they go into line, Irad Ortiz Jr. is going to take his chance with that first-time starter. For the first time on this Saturday, we will go upstairs to Larry Colmus. Good luck if you're playing the early pick 5.
Craigville Beach being led toward the starting gate riderless. Meanwhile, Thorny Tail goes in. So just waiting now for Craigville Beach and Rue here. Hector Diaz getting aboard Craigville Beach in the gate, and Rue here will come up to the outside stall and complete the line. They're all in line. They're off. By Don's Early Light goes out to the front. Rue here sent up on the outside to challenge. These two out the best with Thorny Tail away running in third. Early Retirement is fourth. Tap It Tango follows in fifth. And Craigville Beach, Mr. Muy Bien, and Max Revolution going up on their outside. Southern King trails the field early, racing past the half-mile pole. That first quarter mile, 22.28 seconds as Rue here leads them by 2.5 lengths. By Don's Early Light is second. On the outside comes Thorny Tail in third. Early Retirement fourth. Riding the rail round that turn, 4 lengths off the lead. Tap It Tango is fifth and progressing well as they make their way toward the top of the stretch. A big gap back to the others. Rue here has lost the lead as they turn for home. 45.95 the half. It is now By Dawn's Early Light and Thorny Tail, and down the center comes Tap It Tango, and Thorny Tail is now in front with a furlong to run. Tap It Tango takes second on the outside. By Dawn's Early Light is back into third, and then comes Southern King in fourth. It is Thorny Tail. Thorny Tail and Eric Consell win it by 3 in the end over Tap It Tango. Southern King was third, and By Dawn's Early Light was fourth.
12-3, 11-2 is unofficial. The first-time starters dominate the off-the-turf event that was the opener at Belmont Park. Thorny Tail, coming out of the George Weaver barn, gets the money there under Eric Consell. Look for those prices on the website at tvg.com. We're going to be checking in Lexington, Kentucky for the first time. Today is the occasion of the Grade 2 Lexus Raven Run, and Mike Joyce has a special guest on the desk.
Rich, thank you very much. Yes, Lexus and Keeneland have had a great partnership over the years, and I'm joined now by Kelly Nally of Lexus. She is their Director of Marketing and Events. Thank you so much for joining us here on the set.
Thanks for having me.
So, first of all, before we get, and I'm going to make you handicap this race. You're not getting away without a pick, but I do want to talk about the partnership between Lexus and Keeneland, and really what it's meant for you guys at Lexus to partner with such a great racing organization.
Well, we've been partnering with Keeneland for over a decade now, and it's just, when you think of things in Kentucky and in Lexington, the best of the best, and Keeneland is one of them, and we like to think Lexus is too, especially now it's being built in Georgetown. We have a vehicle, and so it's just a true Kentucky-based partnership, and we just love it. It's wonderful.
And you're a true Kentucky-based girl. Lexington isn't where you moved for a job. You made the job come to you. You've been here your whole life?
I have. Love it here. Went to the University of Kentucky and just never left.
I get it. I wouldn't leave either. As far as Lexus's partnership with Keeneland,
yes.
I drive a Lexus. Do I get preferred parking now?
Yeah. Bonnie, I'll take good care of you for that.
Well, it's great. Lexus actually, we feel their partnerships everywhere in racing here at Keeneland. Also, at Angel Stadium, there's a Lexus lot. If you drive a Lexus, you get right up to the front in Anaheim. It's great. I drive a Lexus. I traded in my mom's Honda Accord, finally. So it's really exciting. I'm totally going to get your card and hit you up for all sorts of free stuff. You can like slide an ES350 my way.
Okay.
Like we'll be best of friends.
Okay.
Let me ask you about the Raven Run. You've sponsored this race for years. I'm going to give you a cheat sheet. I know there was a horse that you liked in here. Who was it?
Kelly's Humor.
Even though they spell it wrong. It's supposed to.
They did spell it wrong.
K-E-L-L-E-Y.
EY.
They missed
I don't
the E.
know.
They're fine. Kelly's Humor. 6-1 has a live shot for Brad Cox. Let me ask you this. Let's get a little more into the background of your life. What's your experience with Keeneland? How much have this racetrack been for you, like a part of the culture here and growing up in Lexington? When was the first time you made your way out to the races?
Oh my gosh. I mean, when I was little, who knows how old I was at that time. So been coming here and betting on the ponies, as my dad would call it.
So as the director of marketing and events for Keeneland, Lexus, have you been with Lexus for the entirety of the sponsorship with Keeneland, or did you come on a little bit later?
No, I've been with them for 5 years now.
5 years?
So
Okay.
So a good portion of it.
It's pretty lucky that you come on a company that's got a sponsorship here at Keeneland.
Yes, it's wonderful. Very blessed.
All right. Well, Kelly, can you just give us one last thing? Exciting stuff going on in the company of Lexus. What is, as far as being based here in Kentucky, you mentioned that they're being built in Georgetown. How much is Lexus based, right here in the Commonwealth, and then, just in the Midwest in general?
We have right now we're part of the central region for Lexus, and actually Lexus of Lexington is the best. I'll have to say, not just saying that, the numbers show it too. It's just amazing what a great place in the market that we have, and how many you see a lot of Lexus and Toyotas when you're driving around town, I'm sure here.
Yeah.
So we just love it, and we think being part of the community just really helps with that. Clearly partnering with Keeneland is huge.
We would like to thank you from everyone in horse racing for shining the light on Keeneland and joining this partnership to make our sport go around. It's a sport that we all love, and we're really happy that you guys are a part of it.
Well, thank you.
All right.
We love it.
Kelly Nally, she's the Director of Marketing and Events for Lexus, and the Lexus Raven Run, our feature coming up later today here at Keeneland Racecourse in Lexington, Kentucky. We'll be back here in a little bit. Gabby Gaudette will join me. We'll get you back on track for some of the live racing to start the day. Right now, though, we're heading out to Laurel. It's post time for race 2.
And the horses are stepping onto the turf course for the Maryland Million Turf Distaff Starter Handicap on a good turf course that should have quite a bit of moisture in it, Frank. I will say the sun has come out. It's brisk, but it's really pleasant right now and just a beautiful day. Did think that the 10, Capuchin, looked a little hotter than I would have liked to have seen. She was a bit washed out. He was rather, but the favorite, Participate, looked strikingly well.
Yeah, no, she looks good, seems to be coming into this well. Dorothy Wharton, Beth Wharton, has done a really nice job with these Wasabi horses, and certainly you could expect this horse to run pretty well. There is some other speed, so that's going to complicate things for her a little bit here, I'd say.
And among those speed horses, Artibus could be somewhat forwardly placed. A long shot. I don't think she can stick around for very long, but I do think she could complicate things early, but most especially Miss Gray and Unbridled Escape.
Yeah, exactly right.
Give me your case for your upset pick.
Well, my case is, my horse is the 6 horse Oh So Lovely. It was 12-1 morning line for Anthony Ferrier. She's making her second start off a layoff here. She's won her last 2 times that she was on the turf. Both sprinting, but she's out of a dam that was a 2-turn runner. She's kind of bred to get a route of ground. I think she's going to like the added ground here. It's probably going to move her a little closer to the pace, but she's going to be rolling on late. And I like the price. J.D. Acosta knows what he's doing out there on a horse, so I think she could run a good race in this spot.
We talk about riders, J.D. Acosta joining the likes of Trevor McCarthy. You've got Fergal Lynch. You've got Evian Toledo. You've got some of the most solid, most experienced journeyman riders you'll find anywhere in the country.
Yeah, it's a good colony, and the Mid-Atlantic is very fortunate. We have so many tracks nearby that you get some good riders here that then use this to go all sorts of different places, including some bug riders that have come through here over the years.
All right, looking at the sequence for the Pick 4, I mentioned this race kicking off, Pick 4 on races 2 through 5, and Participate might be a single on some tickets. The other one that I thought could be a single comes up in My Sister Sledge in race 4, that's the Maryland Million Ladies, and she will likely be a pretty short-priced favorite and looks pretty tough. Are you yay or nay so far as singling her is concerned?
I think she's going to be awfully tough in that spot. I really do. I think she's maybe even I think Crab Cakes in race 3, the distaff is going to be a handful. And I used her on top, but if you wanted to say to me Anna's Bandit could get her, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you.
Crab Cake's one of those return champions, and we have a number of them on the day. Familiar faces, all part of the Maryland Million Day that makes this day so special. This one, though, a bit more wide open. Somebody's going to have the chance to shine today as they get ready for a start. The favorite at 4-5 now, Participate, with Rosario Montanez on the rail. We head upstairs to Dave Rodman to call the second, the Maryland Million Turf Distaff starter.
Back to Bring Me Answers. And once again, they're in line. And they're off. Miss Gray in a hurry. Miss Gray sprints away. Miss Gray opens up 3 in the blink of an eye from Participate. Then Arbutus is racing in 3rd. Outside there in 4th position. Actually, that is Unbridled Escape who sprints away. Arbutus is racing 2nd, and Miss Gray on the outside taking 3rd position. On the inside is Participate is racing in 4th. And Irish Inspired is racing 5th around that turn a little bit wide. As they round the turn, Included Check is saving ground. So Unbridled Escape opens up a length and a half on Arbutus in 2nd, and Participate the favorite in 3rd, and Miss Gray is in 4th. It's another 2 more lengths back in the field, and between horses is Bring Me Answers and Little Sister on the outside. Included Check, ground saving there, about a half dozen lengths on the front, and back to Oh So Lovely, who's next in line, and Capuchin now taking a bit off that inside. They're followed by Barino racing back of the pack with Running Tide, and Irish Inspired is last, and about 13 lengths will cover them. The opening quarter 24.15, half in 49.52. So it's Unbridled Escape leading the way, length and a half into the far turn run. Unbridled Escape is up top. From Arbutus just 2nd. Participate now making a move down to the inside. Miss Gray on the outside is 3 wide around that far turn. Another 3 back, and it's Oh So Lovely. Capuchin's getting involved now. Capuchin passing Arbutus is thrown in the towel. Midpoint on that turn. It is Unbridled Escape out there. Unbridled Escape from Participate working a bit harder. Then Miss Gray in 3rd, and Capuchin is in 4th. Irish Inspired to the far outside. The others have plenty of running to do as Unbridled Escape leads them by 7 into the stretch. Unbridled Escape never giving them a chance. Jose Betancourt now 9 in front. It's a scramble for 2nd, a 3 or 4 way go. On the outside is Capuchin. To the inside is Participate. Then Irish Inspired. Unbridled Escape at 11-1. And a solid score, almost double digits from Capuchin, maybe Irish Inspired or Miss Gray. It's close there. And then Participate.
Unbridled Escape gives them the slip to take the victory here at a very nice price. Long shot Capuchin gets up for 2nd. A photo for the show. We'll have more on the other side.
Liam's map. This 2-time Grade 1 winner posted 6 consecutive 100-plus buyer figures, including a 1:14 in the Grade 1 Woodward Stakes, the fastest winning time in more than a decade. An $800,000 yearling, he never finished off the board in 8 starts, winning 6. In his final race, this great colt set the track records at Keeneland in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. All this adds up to a world-class stallion at a world-class stallion farm.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known secrets about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. Call right now for your free book, and as a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report. We researched over 1,200 annuities and summarized the rates and benefits of annuities from financially strong insurers. Again, that's annuity do's and don'ts for baby boomers and a free annuity rate report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today. Supplies are limited. Call now.
Call 800-736-5802. That's 800-736-5802.
Since 1986, the Maryland Million program has shined a light on Maryland's successful thoroughbred breeding industry. Horses sired by Maryland Million nominated stallions, regardless of foaling location, are eligible to participate in Maryland Million Day races. Jim McKay Maryland Million Day is the highlight of this program, with over $1 million in purses and awards available to eligible runners and stallions. But Maryland Million is more than just one day. Owners of eligible horses are rewarded when their horse wins its first race in the state. Visit MarylandMillion.com for more.
The Keeneland Owner Standings are brought to you by Tailor Made Farm.
And welcome to Keeneland Racecourse here in Lexington, Kentucky, joined by Gabby Gaudette. I'm still Mike Joyce. Time for the Tailor Made Owner Standings. Of course, finding yourself atop the owner standings here at Keeneland, one of the most prestigious standing bars in all of horse racing. Still working on the decimal point system. Maybe next year. Let's take a look, Gabby.
Let's take a look. And so far, Ken and Sarah Ramsey, as per usual, have had a good start to the meet, and they are still atop the leaderboard there with 4 victories. But in second, we have a tie for second for several owners, including KRA Stud and Mr. Oxley in the Lockenbach Stables. We've seen some impressive performances, but they've really come from a multitude of different connections here, Mike.
We've seen crazy prices and outcomes throughout the meet. I felt like yesterday this card was very formful to start. We had a few upsets later on in the day. But, yeah, the wealth has been spread around, that is for certain, be it amongst the trainers and the owners. But Ken and Sarah Ramsey, a mainstay here at Keeneland, and it doesn't matter what the year is, whether it was 2006 or 2018, you see those red and white silks in the winner's circle as often as any here in Kentucky. They're in the saddling paddock for race number 1. Gabby, can you do me a favor and stick around?
I'm going to hang out for a little bit.
Okay, my last guest left after like 5 minutes.
No, I don't blame her.
When we return, we'll have a little look at the opener. We're kicking things off with a $30,000 claimer going 6. Fun card today, highlighted by the Lexus Raven Run.
In the morning, I'm always looking for talent. With Always Dreaming, it was always about his athleticism. He's like a halfback. When he hit that hole, he exploded and hit another gear. In my experience, horses like Always Dreaming, they stamp their offspring with that ability. I'm racing with Bruno, and this breeding season, I'm always dreaming.
TVG's coverage of Jim McKay Maryland Million Day from Laurel Park is brought to you in part by Capital Bank, Apple Ford Lincoln, Marama Farm, and Harford County.
When money's tight and emergencies arise, CashNetUSA.com is available 24/7 to deliver quick loans for approved customers when they need it the most.
Apply now at CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
At Apple Ford Lincoln in Columbia, Maryland, customers receive no-cost oil changes, car washes, alignment checks, safety inspections, tire rotations, and powertrain coverage, all for as long as you own your vehicle. And with 2 convenient quick lane service centers in Columbia, you can service your vehicle quickly every time. Be sure to stop into Apple Ford in Columbia to take a test drive today, or visit us online at appleford.com.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them. We have local offices throughout the U.S., and there is no risk to you. Mesothelioma really is all we do. Call us at 1-800-500-2898. That's 1-800-500-2898. Or go to mesoonlylaw.com.
With 35 years at the forefront of sports technology, Stats is turning its sights to horse racing. Stats Race Lens, bringing clarity to handicapping.
The Keeneland Trainer Standings are brought to you by the Dubai World Cup Carnival.
And as we take a look at the Dubai World Cup Carnival trainer standings, Todd Pletcher with 7 victories, still atop the trainer standings. And how about this? Tony's of Lexington, which I ate at last night, and it was far and away the best meal I've had in a year.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the last time I ate at Tony's was probably the last time I had a meal that good. Awarding the leading trainer with a $1,000 gift certificate. Not 100, 1,000.
That's amazing.
That gets you play. That
gives the barn, the trainer, the opportunity to take the barn out for a nice meal, right?
Well, I think, look at these guys. I mean, Fletcher, Maker, Keneally, Brad Cox, Ian Wilkes, Steve Ash, all these guys, they're going to take the barn out.
Yeah.
That's a fun night out for the whole team.
For sure.
I ate there last night at Tony's, and I had the bone-in ribeye, which was exquisite, and Coach Cal was there. He was 2 tables away from me.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It was just a UK day for you yesterday, wasn't it?
I know. I saw my co-host get mauled by the Wildcat. We had cheerleaders popping out of the ground like leprechauns, and then I saw Coach Cal at Tony's.
What a day. And
Dubai World Cup Carnival coming up soon. You've never been to Dubai? You've never been?
I haven't, but my plan is to ride a camel eventually, like the way you and Simon did.
Okay, you got to lean back. You got to lean back when they get up, because it's getting up and down is really tough on those things.
I'll take some notes before I go.
Yeah, I'll make a little crib sheet, camel riding crib sheet for you.
Thank you.
I will say this, though, in Dubai, it's the most amazing city in the world. It's all brand new construction, architecture, the likes of which you've never seen, engineering feats that are unrivaled in the world. The most impressive part about that city is the racetrack.
Wow. Okay.
Without a doubt. That racetrack is...
It's definitely on my bucket list. Got to get there sometime soon.
Right now, we're about 14 minutes away from the opener at Keeneland. I believe my producer and director want me to get back to Rich Perloff and TVG Studios because they have more pressing issues. We'll get into this race. Check out this guy getting a little frisky out there.
Bucking and kicking. Liking the fall weather.
We've got the cash back for second or third going on today. Races 6 and 9 at Keeneland, 6, 9, and 10 at Keeneland, and race 9 at Santa Anita. Details at TVG.com. But Rich, pressing issues, 9 minutes at Belmont.
Well, I think it's pressing because I've opened up the pocketbook for race number 2 at Belmont Park. It's the beginning of the early 50-cent pick 4. Stakes activity begins here on Empire Showcase Day, and we kick things off with the Iroquois Stakes. Fillies and mares 3 and up to go 6.5 furlongs on the fast main track. I'm going to get a little coverage here. Here's the way I see this race. You got a couple of horses that almost look like must-use. The 4 Holiday Disguise and the 5 Highway Star. Why do I say that? Well, when you're looking at these state-bred stakes programs, you're obviously going to give a very long look to horses that are graded stakes winners because those are open races. Holiday Disguise is a Grade 3 winner, took the Distaff Handicap at Aqueduct in April. Highway Star, a multiple graded stakes winner. So got to have both of them. But here are the other 2 horses, and they're both getting bet. The 7 here Satisfies coming out of the Belmont barn. 4-year-old daughter of Candy Ride, and she is just getting better and better and better start by start. She's won 4 of 5. She's won her last 3, and most noteworthy, she stepped out of state-bred company and beat an open first-level allowance field last time out. Tracked the pace, which she usually does, 1 going away. I want her on the ticket. Junior Alvarado rides there. Then my top pick is the 10 horse here, Pico Uno. Here's what I see about Pico Uno. Irad Ortiz Jr. is in the irons. He's the guy you want riding Pico Uno. He has ridden this 5-year-old daughter of Macho Uno 8 times in the past. 5 times they've gone to the winner's circle. 5 wins, a second and a third when Irad rides. Outside draw is perfect for Pico Uno, so I'm 4 deep in the Iroquois. Race number 3 will be on the turf. That is the Mohawk Stakes, $200,000 on the line. 3-year-old Snuff going a mile into 16th. Plenty of coverage in there as well. I'm going to make my top pick, the 9-horse Black Tide. Look, pass Black Tide if you want to win that race. Black Tide is 8 for 40 lifetime. Last 6 wins have come in wire-to-wire fashion. This is the defending champion. Here's what you can expect from Black Tide. At some point in that race, he's probably going to be 3 lengths to the good, and then you're going to cross your fingers down the lane because that margin will probably diminish, but this guy's got a nose for the wire. Jose Lezcano fits him. He'll be on the front end. Then I got a couple of backup plans if he's not up to the task today. Race number 4 at Belmont, leg 3 of the pick 4, is the Hudson Handicap, $150,000 on the line, 3-year-olds and up, sprinting 6.5 furlongs. I'll be 3 deep in there. I'm going to use, I was talking earlier on about Eric Consell. Here's the race. Celtic Chaos, he's the exact opposite of the horse I was just talking about. Celtic Chaos, the best bet on the program today is that at some point during the running of the Hudson Handicap, he's probably going to be last, but he can fly home. 3 starts back. In the Morrissey Stakes at Saratoga, he was much the best. He got sawed off in deep stretch, had to settle for 3rd. He came back and jogged in a state-bred allowance. Then he ran pretty well in an open allowance optional claimer, going 6 furlongs at Belmont on September 16th. He was 3rd in there, only beaten a length. Now he's back in against state-breds. He gets the additional 16th of a mile to work with. I'll take Celtic Chaos as a top pick. I got back up there. If I get through to race number 5, the Ticonderoga Stakes, I just want no surprises. I'm going to go with the obvious horses in there. The 6-horse La Moneda, coming out of the Tom Morley barn. La Moneda is looking for her 5th in a row. She just comes off a win in the Yaddo Stakes last time out. That was her first time in stakes company, and she got the money by a neck. And I'm using the horse to her outside, 55, who was actually the 7-5 morning line favorite. I don't use weight, W-E-I-G-H-T, as a handicapping factor, a significant handicapping factor very often, but this is the circumstance where I think it makes a difference. La Moneda was the winner by a neck in the Yaddo Stakes. 55 was in that race, finished 3rd, beaten a neck. And relative to the weights they carried in that race, 55 is getting a 4-pound pull in the weights today. In other words, a 4-pound break relative to La Moneda, and they were only separated by a neck at the wire. Still in all, they are going to be your favorite and second choice in race number 5, the Ticonderoga, and that is the pick 4 that I'm playing at Belmont Park today, because I think these races are deep and contentious, so I'm spending a little money. Go to TVG.com to get involved in that sequence. We're 4 minutes away from race number 2. It's the Iroquois Stakes. Let's go back to Keeneland and meet the field for their opener with Mike Joyce and Gabby Gaudette.
Rich, we're taking a look at the post parade. Here is One River Place at 7-2 to kick things off. This is for 3-year-olds and up who have never won 3 races, or 3-year-olds. The caveat being, if you're 3, you could have won 100 races. If you're 4 and older, you're restricted to the non-3. They're going 6.
And I like the cutback for the One River Place, but the number 2 Drop Kick, second off the claim for trainer Johnny Ortiz, getting his first stakes victory in the Sycamore here at Keeneland just a few days ago.
Potential Danger is 10-1 for Greg Foley. This horse had a nice run against open 50 claimers, 2 back. The comebacker last time out at Churchill, left a little something to be desired.
Grandpa Knows Best appears to be in a bit of a lull, at least in his last 3 starts. A 5, a Better Swing for Ted Lucas, coming out of Allowance Company last time out.
Little known fact, the 6-horse is named Zombie at 5-2. My brother Patrick actually played live music at the world record Zombie Walk. He was the soundtrack to the world record Zombie Walk in Louisville, Kentucky.
So are you going to tell him to go bet this race?
Well, I mean, how does he not bet Zombie after that? I mean, it's really hard not to. Yeah. That's your field for race number 1. One change in the program. Grandpa Knows Best, a new gelding. Onions off the number 4. We're about 7 minutes away from race 1. Let's go back to Rich Perloff.
All right, Mike, thanks very much. And we are back at Belmont. Race number 2 is the Iroquois Stakes, one of many state-bred stakes features on the program today. It's Empire Showcase Day. We got Jim McKay, Maryland Millions. We had Oklahoma Classics night. So and now everybody wants to play. And I love race programs like this. I really do. I think they're fun events to handicap because, generally speaking, you'll have a combination of a couple of things, race by race. You'll have the state-bred horses that have been excelling in the state-bred ranks and are now moving into the state-bred stakes ranks, and you will have horses that maybe are not winning a lot of races but are running competitively in open races, not races restricted to state-breds. Now they take that little class drop back into the state-bred ranks. That's what I look for. 2-1 here on the 4-horse. That's Holiday Disguise. Holiday Disguise just kind of ran a dull one in the Grade 2 Gallant Bloom last time out, but that was her first start in 3 months. She was 5th in a field of 7. She was only beaten 3 lengths for all the money, and she descends back into the state-bred ranks where she's been very successful in the past. Joel Rosario rides there. Now also at 5-2 is the 4-year-old Bill Mott-trained filly Satisfy, who's done very little wrong in her career. She's 4 for 5. She's on a 3-race win streak, and she stepped out of the state-bred ranks and beat an open first-level allowance field going away last time out. That win produced a career-best buyer figure of 84. She would probably have to improve from that to win here, but she's very lightly raced, and further improvement is possible, if not likely. Let's go to Larry Colmus and kick off the early pick 4. Good luck.
Goes in. They're all in line. They're off in the Iroquois, and Royal Inheritance bounds out of there with Filibustin and Pico Uno for the early lead. Pause for the Cause behind them running in 4th. And then it's Holiday Disguise and Palladian Bridge on the outside, and Highway Stars down at the rail. 7 lengths from the front. Satisfy is last early on as they head up the backstretch and move for the far turn. Royal Inheritance on top, 3/4 of a length. Filibustin on the outside, second. First quarter, 22.6 seconds. There's a half mile to go. Then Pause for the Cause. Highway Star has progressed well up into 4th. Now 4 lengths from the front. And then it's Pico Uno. Satisfy rides the rail around that turn. 6.5 lengths off the lead. Then Palladian Bridge and Holiday Disguise is trying to bear out a bit as they make their way toward the top of the stretch. Royal Inheritance, Filibustin on their outside. Here comes a 3-wide sweep from Pause for the Cause, while Highway Star hugs the rail to the top of the stretch. In behind them, Satisfy swings up on the outside and is starting to make a bid as they come into the final furlong. It is Pause for the Cause. On the inside is Highway Star. Satisfy comes up to them. The 3 of them across the track. Highway Star, Satisfy down to these 2. Highway Star wins the Iroquois by a neck. Satisfy was second, Pause for the Cause was third, and Filibustin was 4th.
5718 is unofficial, and the class tells the story here. Highway Star, a multiple graded stakes winner, slips through along the inside and gets the victory there in the Iroquois Stakes. Those prices to come. Let's return to Keeneland for race number 1.
Thank you very much. We are just about 3 minutes out. Let's get to the nitty-gritty here. It's only a 6-horse field. There's sprint and speed's been doing well this meet. Where does the speed come from? How does this one unfold?
That's a good question. Looking at the speed, I think actually Zombie appears to be maybe the quickest on paper, but he does have that outside post position. I still think he's probably naturally fastest. The 5 Batter Swing has some natural speed too. So ironically, as well as inside speed has been playing, I didn't land on an inside speed type. I don't think One River Place, the number 1, is going to get the lead, but I do think he could maybe sit a stalking trip towards the inside.
I know Rich can hear me, and I don't know if he's going to jump in the conversation, but I'll tell you this. He'd be salivating over Zombie because when you look at the conditions of this race, it's for 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds and up, which are non-winners of 2, okay? All of the 3-year-olds in here fit the non-2, except for Zombie, who's a 3-year-old, and he's won 4 times. By the way, there are no 4-year-olds. So essentially, you have an entire field of horses with 2 wins and 1 horse with 4 wins. And as you pointed out, that might be the fastest horse in the race.
Sure. He could be the speed of the speed. I just, and I agree with Rich, and I agree with that principle that, you get a 4-time winner in a race with only 2-time winners. That's obviously an advantage. But he's really going to have to step up in the class department. I mean, he beat Iowa breds.
Twice. But he beat open horses at Prairie Meadows. He did, made a special weight at Remington. And he raced for a $50,000 tag at Saratoga and held his own. I mean, he was 3rd in a field of 5. But he was only 6 lengths behind Stoney Bennett, and he ran a pretty good number, and that's going to hold up against these.
For sure. I think I'm knocking him a little bit too much. He does look like he's the controlling speed. I mean, the money is landing on the number 2 Drop Kick, and I like him, but he's another horse who's starting to rack up those seconds, and he just kind of seems like he doesn't have much follow through. I mean, Johnny Ortiz, first off the claim, he does a great job first off the claim. But I didn't think that he was a 8-5 standout by any means.
No, and I'll tell you what, the horse that has the best thoroughgraph numbers in here is the one horse, One River Place. And it's by a considerable margin. Dropkick's number last time out was going a mile. He ran a very good one. He gets to turn back today. But his sprint numbers they're right there with these, but not a standout 8-5 favorite in this field. I just think it's a good race to spread it. And if you have an opinion, you'll most likely get rewarded unless it's Dropkick because he's getting bet a little too much.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I mean, one of the things that I liked about One River Place on the inside is, he stretched out to 7/8 against Starter Allowance Company last time out. And to me, he just seems like a horse that can't go much farther than 3/4. So now at least he has that underneath of him. He's cutting back to 3/4. And some of his races that he's run well in, I mean, they've been pretty quality competition. I liked that race at Churchill back in June, the non-winners of 3 lifetime conditions. So I'm going to have to opt on him. But I agree with you, Mike, that I don't think that this is, an 8-5 favorite type of race. I thought that if you were playing that early pick 5, you wanted some coverage.
They're loading into the starter gate. Final thoughts before they break away from there?
One River Place for me down on the inside. Hopefully we get through it. Although we could see Zombie maybe take the field wire to wire. We'll see how speed is playing on the main track today. It's been very advantageous so far at the meet.
I don't know what this means, but it's certainly a little bit more cold today than it was yesterday.
It is, and colder tomorrow.
Yeah, and it rained last night, and it rained through the morning, and it was moist. They're calling it fast and firm. I'll go with them on that, but we'll see if it changes the way the speed has been so dominant here at Keeneland. Kurt Becker has the call of race 1.
And they're off. There goes Zombie out running for the lead. Batter, swing, and One River Place, who moves up down toward the inside now into second, but Zombie is the leader. Zombie gets clear, moves over toward the inside, leads it by a length to Batter, swing, second by a neck outside of One River Place, tucked away third to the inside. Grandpa Knows Best outward from the rail is fourth, a half length. Dropkick is fifth between Horses, and Potential Danger is last. 22.91 seconds for the opening quarter. Zombie and Batter, Swing, the top two, separated by a half length, gap of 2. Grandpa Knows Best between Horses, and now Dropkick slides through down in one lane off the rail, moves up into third, still 3 from the front. Grandpa Knows Best needs to find more. Potential Danger tries to rally from last, and One River Place is next to last off the turn. In the meantime, Batter, Swing, and Dropkick coming forward and moving by to the outside. It goes Batter, Swing, but Zombie's fighting back, and Dropkick is still trying in third. Into the final furlong, it is Batter, Swing, Zombie inside, Dropkick outside. One River Place fourth, Batter, Swing winning it for Declan Cannon. Dropkick home second. One River Place looked to get third, but that'll be a photo for the show spot between One River Place and Zombie.
Well, Declan Cannon with a nice ride here on Batter, Swing. Zombie gets the lead. Could not hold on. You saw the track kind of carry him into third. I still say it's probably a speed favoring surface, but Batter, Swing ran against that bias and got the job done.
Yeah, for sure. We could maybe see a little bit of a change, Mike. So the jury's still out, in my opinion, in terms of speed and holding up. But Batter, Swing, this horse really wasn't impossible. I know we always like to say that in hindsight, but he was getting a big class relief from his last race, at least those conditions.
You don't think he was impossible? You should take a look at my pick 5 ticket. There's a look at Batter, Swing. Declan Cannon for Ted Lucas. This gelded's going to hold me back with a victory. It's his third lifetime. We're going to head back to Laurel's Maryland Million Day, and our good friend Caton Bradar is live on site.
Yeah, guys, and we're going to give you a post-parade on tape. It happened about a minute or two ago for the Maryland Million Distaff, the third on our program, and leading them off Item. On the track here off a third place finish, a couple of third place finishes behind the star of the show last time out, Crab Cakes. See that one with Dana Whitney working her way out on the track. They're going to be going 7 furlongs in here. CBGB went by, a long shot for Cat Lynch. An uphill battle. The 3 went by with a little bit of speed there. Virgil Lynch aboard My Magician, I thought had an outside shot in here. Going to need maybe less than an A game from Crab Cakes to get past, but certainly a nice mare in her own right. Wow, what brat. What a brat. Another long shot is the 5. Anna's Bandit was another very useful filly by Great Notion. John Robb done a beautiful job with her. She was third in the West Virginia Breeders last time out, and Crab Cakes on the outside is the prohibitive favorite, and the horse to beat is going to be a single on a lot of tickets. You know, horse racing, and particularly days like this, serve as a great escape for a lot of people who are vested in other areas of life, and we're so glad to be joined by Congressman Tom Rooney, who I'm sure that's true for as well, for you, to get to escape the political arena for a little while and just immerse yourself in horses.
Well, especially Laurel Park's only about, 30, 45 minutes from Washington, D.C., so to get to come up here on, days we have a little extra time and just sort of like lose yourself in the races and the horses is really nice. And I actually own a few racers now myself, so gotten more and more involved over the years.
You're involved with Shamrock Farm. You did have a horse. Shawnee P was going to make his debut in the 6th race, the nursery, today. Through the rail, and we'll wait for another day, but I understand he had a pretty important or significant name for you.
Yeah, he's named after my son, Sean Patrick Rooney, and, I was waiting for a special horse to, you never, they say not to name them after your kids, but hopefully this one will be something that we can watch for a while and enjoy together.
When you come to Maryland Million Day, particularly, what does this day mean to you and to the state of Maryland and the thoroughbred industry?
Well, I think obviously for not just, the fans and the people that are coming out just to enjoy this beautiful day, but for people like our family that own a stud farm, to make sure that all the, the industry, the horse industry of Maryland is alive and vibrant, and to be able to have a day where we can showcase these great horses and mingle around with the other people that are involved in the industry. It just gives us a lot of confidence and excitement that we're moving in the right direction. And with all the upgrades to this track and a lot of good new stallions that have showed up this year in Maryland, we're really excited about, the future. And so that's always a positive thing for Maryland racing.
Do you see Laurel, and given the new improvements and the innovations that are happening, and even on a day like today, as playing host to even bigger events than Maryland Million?
I don't know if I'm supposed to answer that. I don't want to be a politician here, but okay. I've been to Pimlico obviously for the Preakness, and they've talked about maybe bringing the Breeders' Cup here. The Stronach Group owns Laurel and Pimlico, and so they have experience with hosting Breeders' Cup. So that might be a good trial run to show people that maybe if they would consider moving the Preakness down the road in Maryland still. The Preakness hasn't always been at Pimlico, so it's not like it's, uncharted territory. But the amount of space that they have here, the quality of the racetrack, the room, the ability to do sort of bigger and better things here is obvious. But, obviously there's the history of Pimlico.
It's pretty exciting just to see what the fans are treated to today. And for events like this, even if not the Preakness, certainly big racing events in their own right.
Yep.
Thank you so much, and good
you.
luck the rest of the day.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
A true fan, he showed me his TVG app, so I have an interest in Shamrock Farm, of course.
Got a little money in it.
An integral part of Maryland Million Day, particularly, and certainly Maryland racing and breeding here. Always great to have you and to have a part of it, and we're going to be watching for your horse down the line.
Thank you.
Guys?
We'll get back to Caton and Frank for more coverage on Jim McKay Maryland Millions Day, and we're almost at post time for race number 3, the Maryland Millions Distaff Handicap. 7/8 of a mile on that one. $100,000 on the line, couple of scratches to the outside. The also eligibles come out, the 8 Majestic Reason, the 9 Enchanted Ghost, and the bettors are focused very closely on Crab Cakes, who was 3 to 5. On the morning line. Crab Cakes 8 for 14 lifetime in the exacta, 12 of those 14 starts. Forrest Boyce has been her regular rider. And you heard Frank talking earlier on about the stallion Great Notion and how well he has done with his starters over the course of the Maryland Million Series. He's still well behind Not for Love, a son of Mr. Prospector, who was a stalwart Maryland-bred stallion for many, many years. But there's your favorite, Crab Cakes, who is currently up there at 1 to 5 as they make their way to the 7/8 starting point. Your money-back promotion is in effect for the races on Jim McKay Maryland Millions Day, but note field sizes, because that has much to do with how that promotion works. If there are 8 or more wagering entities, get your money back if your horse runs second or third. If there are only 7, which is the case here, then the money back promotion pays to place. If there are 6 or fewer, then there is no money back. If you can get by your 1-5 favorite, second choice in the wagering at 6-1 is the 6-horse Anna's Bandit. Anna's Bandit, who is returning to Laurel. This might be a good play. You know, I think all horse players have the horse for course angle somewhere in their own personal toolbox. Anna's Bandit is 7 for 18 lifetime, and that is absolutely respectable and then some. 7 for 18, but is 2 for 9 any place that's not Laurel. Anna's Bandit loves it at Laurel, and she's coming back to her preferred racetrack after a couple of tries most recently at Charlestown. As they approach the starting point for race number 3, let's return to Kate and Bradar.
Well, Rich, I mentioned earlier, Frank and I were talking about the fact that one of the great things about this event is the opportunity to see returning champions. You also even see sometimes Maryland Million winners at 2 that come back at 3 and come back at 4, or may switch surfaces or distances as they mature and kind of find their niche. Crab Cakes, of course, the winner of this race last year, in my opinion, is meeting a comparable or maybe even a little bit easier field than she did last time around. My Magician ran credibly behind her last year, but hasn't hit the winner's circle since December of 2017 and hasn't gotten to run quite as much as she did previously. But, you know, My Magician on her best day can certainly give a nice run for the money. As they start to go into line, though, we're seeing 2-5 on Crab Cakes. A 3-length winner last out is kind of the prep for this at Penn National. She was the heavy favorite. Before that, she finished a second, beaten a length as the heavy favorite at Laurel on the turf. But I really think the main track is more suited to her running style and will be the thing that can get her back in the winner's circle. Looks like they're just about ready for the start of this $100,000 Maryland Million Distaff. We'll see if it's once again Crab Cakes. Dave Rodman with the call.
Anna's Bandit. Crab Cakes 1-5. And they're off into the stuff. Crab Cake's very sharp break right to the front. Items ask for early speed and CBGB's right there, the early mix too. Also between horses now stoking up speed is Wow What a Brat. And they are followed by Anna's Bandit, who tracks along in 5th position. Another 2 and it's My Magician. An uphill battle is in the back of the pack. Wow What a Brat's going to go on the lead. Wow What a Brat emerges from the speed pack from Crab Cakes and Item to the inside in 3rd. CBGB is racing in 4th and My Magician getting underway in the far outside. Anna's Bandit is placed between horses about 5 lengths on the pace. An uphill battle in the back. 23.38 was the opening quarter miles. They head into the far turn run. 3.5 furlongs left to go. And it's Wow What a Brat targeted by the favorite. Crab Cakes is just a neck behind in 2nd. And My Magician is right there in 3rd, while 3 wide. A half-mile win in 46.95. 3 of them almost in a line. Crab Cakes grabs the lead. My Magician on the outside trying to test her now. So My Magician, Crab Cakes, My Magician. In the meantime, Anna's Bandit pushes on to 3rd under a drive, and they're into the stretch, turning for home at the 3/16. Crab Cakes turns back My Magician, and opens up 2 lengths. The inside now in 3rd position is Anna's Bandit with a furlong left to go. Item is racing in 4th. It's Crab Cakes, My Magician. She keeps on trying to get to Crab Cakes, but I can't get to Crab Cakes. Crab Cakes does it again. Crab Cakes from My Magician. Anna's Bandit was 3rd in Item, and Wow What a Brat.
Crab Cakes for everyone. 2-time winner here on Maryland Million Day. Forest Boyce, Bernie Houghton, and Morgan's Ford Farm with a popular win.
This November at Keeneland, the sport's top bloodlines will take the world stage. the industry's most prestigious sale of its kind, offering the best selection of mares, broodmare prospects, weanlings, and horses of racing age that deliver the quality and depth only found at the Keeneland November Breeding Stock Sale. November 5th through the 16th. Learn more at Keeneland.com.
Do you make frequent trips to the bathroom? Get up more than once a night? Suffer from urgency, hesitancy, or have a weak stream? Or worse, have a diminished sex drive? Call or go online right now to receive a free 30-day supply of Prosvent, the comprehensive non-prescription prostate formula developed by Harvard-trained internist Dr. Larry May.
It's the most comprehensive formula that's ever been developed.
Prosvent is so effective, it's guaranteed to provide relief in just 30 days, reducing frequency, urgency, and improving urinary flow. Prosvent is trusted by millions of men with over 150 million doses taken.
I wish someone had told me about it sooner.
Call or go online right now to freeprosvent.com to get your free bottle of Prosvent. You heard right. Free bottle. Order right now and you'll also receive Dr. May's comprehensive guide to prostate health and a 30-day supply of Ultimax for intimate moments absolutely free. This is a limited time offer. Order now.
Call 1-800-720-8147. That's 1-800-720-8147 or visit us at freeprosvent.com.
And Dortmund, another superb performance. Never looked like losing the Santa Anita Derby. Romps to an easy win under Martin Garcia.
TVG's coverage of Jim McCain Maryland Million Day from Laurel Park is brought to you in part by Anchor and Hope Farm, Fidelity First, John Deere, and Horseware Ireland.
Welcome back to this Saturday edition of the Morning Line on TVG. I'm Rich Perloff, reminding you that if it's Saturday at TVG, there's $100,000 on the line for you, and it's free to play. That is the Super 8. Go to tvg.com/Super 8. Make sure that you are in. The first race in the sequence is race number 6 at Keeneland, which comes up at 3:51 Eastern Time. So you still got well over 2 hours to handicap Keeneland, Belmont, one race from Santa Anita. Make sure that you are in, if you're the only handicapper, to catch lightning in a bottle. 8 of 8. You'll collect $100,000. Let's take a break. We'll come back with more live racing here on the Morning Line.
Imagine Kentucky without the horse industry and the thousands of jobs it creates. Imagine our schools, roads, and services deprived of the more than $1 billion annually horses generate for our economy. Fortunately, we've got someone in Washington who won't let that happen. As chairman of the Bipartisan Congressional Horse Caucus, Andy Barr is working to protect Kentucky's signature horse industry. Andy Barr, our voice for the men and women keeping Kentucky's unbridled spirit alive. Friends of Racing is responsible for the content of this advertising.
From his first 4 small crops, he was the #2 sire in North America and Europe on apex figures, splitting Galileo and Warfront. He just looks the part. He exudes class. He looks like Northern Dancer. I mean, it's impossible to get better than that. When you know a horse is this good, you have to be able to push the chips out on the table and to play that hand. He's a superstar.
That's it. Gates are back and they're racing.
Brilliant ride, brilliant win, takes the Guildford Mile. XY Jet, Roy H. Mine, Jewel Biscuit down the outside. XY Jet, as they come down to the course, Brockwood 550 metres to go. And last three clear of their blast. This is a rising star, Ben Battle. Ben Battle going to bolt in the big massive upset in the Dubai World Cup. Thunder Snow wins it by 5. Second is
Log on now to America's largest online wagering company, TVG. TVG's coverage of Keeneland is brought to you by WinStar Farm. Buy, breed, train, WinStar.
Welcome back to Keeneland. We're about a quarter of an hour away from race number 2. The price tag's the same, but the conditions have changed. That almost rhymes. A maiden $30,000 claiming event for fillies and mares, mile and a 16th. They're going a little bit longer than we saw in that first race. A field of 8, a competitive bunch if the tote board is any indication. And Gabby, I know you can barely contain yourself because it's the start of the Pick 4.
I know. I'm very excited about this. And we have to get through this race. I thought this race was, it's another one where you don't really have a lot of solid ground to stand on, but I'm hoping that it will be formful. Just kind of like the early part of yesterday's card. So just 2-7 here for race 2. I wanted some coverage in the third race, a nice maiden special weight. That'll be on the turf at a mile and a 16th. I think the two-sister kitten will go off as your heavy favorite, but I thought the race was a little bit more wide open than that. I actually really like the 8 hidden facts in there. And race 4, having some coverage there with 4 different horses in there as well. And then we wrap things up in the 5th for a starter allowance, a mile and a 16th out on the main track. That I'm going to the 2 favorites, the 3 Surprise Prize and the number 6 Mind Your Own Malone. So we'll see. But I thought it was a fun sequence at $32.
$32 play from Gabby. I have it on sound authority that she came to the track with at least $32. If you did too, you can go to TVG.com and play this 50-cent ticket. Gulfstream Park West, race 1. Pete Aiello, he's a race caller. He's going to describe the action.
Dynamic Dancer to the outside. Track fast, turf firm on their rally line. Racing at GPW. Dynamic Dancer breaks the line on top today from Sweet Tea Jack, who's going to try to hold inside position. Away in third and driving it up is Clear Sky. So Clear Sky comes after Sweet Tea Jack with Dynamic Dancer 3 wide. Then back to Dr. Dudley to the outside of Swami Genius, who's 3 better than Judas Tango, was a bit slow into stride. Sack is second last, and King Ready is last as they swing to the far turn. Chuck Lopez and Clear Sky in the turf debut in front by an X. Sweet Tea Jack on the outside is now second. Dynamic Dancer is back to third. Toward the rail, Swami Genius is now fourth ahead of Dr. Dudley in fifth. 2 back to Judas Tango, who tries to move forward with a quarter of a mile left to go. On the outside, Sweet Tea Jack. Toward the rail, Clear Sky. Shoulder to shoulder for an eighth of a mile with Dynamic Dancer and Dr. Dudley on the outside. Final furlong, Camacho gets serious on Sweet Tea Jack. He gives him a kick and leads now by a length and a quarter. Judas Tango is late on the scene. Dynamic Dancer on the outside. Sweet Tea Jack almost there. Sweet Tea Jack won it. Sweet Tea Jack for the money. Judas Tango appeared to outrun Dynamic Dancer for second, but that's tight in the first of the day.
Sweet Tea Jack gets the money under Sammy Camacho. Second choice at 5-2. That was the kickoff leg of the early 50-cent pick 5 at Gulfstream Park West. Let's return to Belmont. Horses are coming out for race number 3. This is the $200,000 Mohawk Stakes. 3-year-olds and up. They're going to go a mile and a 16th on the good turf course there. This is the Outer or Widener turf course. Scratch the 1, Mo Diddley, who was entered main track only. The 2, Wrapped, went through. A 2-time winner on the Belmont turf. The 3, Hobo. I put Hobo on the ticket. Whatever Hobo does or doesn't do today, props to David Dong. What a great training job. Hobo was away from the races for over a year prior to his comeback on October 4th. He was up for sale that day. That was an open $50,000 non-winners of 3. There were no takers, and the year-long layoff probably has a lot to do with that. Hobo set a perfect trip under Manny Franco, won that thing going away. So I want him on the ticket. If David Dong's got him right now, he's obviously got talent. There's the 10-horse. Tapitation. Offering Plan, getting bet hard. That's Javier Castellano, who's closing in on a milestone 5,000th career victory. But once again, at 9-2, the 9-horse here, Black Tide, his last 6 wins have been wire to wire. He's coming off a win in a similar spot, the state-bred Ashley T. Cole Stakes, and that's the horse you're going to pass if you're going to win here. 9-2, I think a solid price. He was 3-1 on the morning line, and that is the field for the Mohawk Stakes. There's a good look at Carapa. How about this guy? Carapa is a 9-year-old gelding. He's 13 for 51 lifetime. He's won 8 times on the Belmont turf. He's got more than $1.2 million in the bank. And you know, I really couldn't argue too vigorously against anybody who wanted to use him. He's a little bit of an in and outer these days, but 2 starts back, he was in. That was a very gutty win at odds of 17-1 under Dylan Davis, who rides him today in the $150,000 West Point Stakes at Saratoga. He was in against several of these in his most recent start. That was the Ashley T. Cole, which was won by Black Tide over a closing offering plan. Offering plan is your 4-5 favorite here. Black Tide, your likely pace setter, is, well, just click down to 4-1. Good deep field assembled for the $200,000 Mohawk Stakes. We go to Larry Culmus for the race call.
An offering plan. Tapitation goes in. Even money favorite offering plan up to the outside stall. Steps forward and in. They're all in line. They're off in the Mohawk. Black Tide came out near the back of the field. Mo Maverick goes out to the front, and now Black Tide's going to be sent along on the outside. Not the best of beginnings for this front runner. And then a break of another 2 lengths back to Tapitation, who sits third onto the backstretch, and then Hobo, Red Knight, an offering plan to the outside. Wrapped is next, and Carafa is the trailer. So onto the backstretch they go, and Black Tide has an early test from Mo Maverick. They complete this first quarter in 22.94 seconds. The pace is hot, and Mo Maverick's in front of Black Tide, who did not come out of the gate all that well. Tapitation is 4 lengths off of them, 6 lengths ahead of Red Knight, offering plan, and Hobo on the inside. After that, it's Wrapped, and Carafa is last and some 14 lengths off the lead, continuing up the backstretch. Mo Maverick ahead of Black Tide by 3/4 of a length through a 46.36 half mile. Tapitation is still 4 off of them. Offering plan is getting a bit closer now. He's 6 lengths off the lead around the turn. And then it's Wrapped on the outside of Red Knight and Hobo. Carafa is last. He's getting closer too. The pack is closing in. And they have to come and get Mo Maverick. That's all for Black Tide. Here's offering plan. Circling up on the outside into second. Tapitation takes third. Hobo is fourth. Wrapped on the outside fifth. And then comes Red Knight. Carafa with a lot of work to do. And they're into the stretch. And offering plan has taken the lead. Offering plan opens up 3. And then it's Wrapped on the outside, followed by Mo Maverick. Carafa coming down the center, but far behind as Offering Plan comes bounding by the 16th pole under Javier Castellano for an easy win in the Mohawk. Offering Plan under the wire by 5 over Wrapped. And then it was Red Knight, followed by Mo Maverick.
11-7 is unofficial. That was your favorite offering plan. Winning for fun, and Javier drawing ever closer to that milestone 5,000 victory. Yeah, the pace of that race got a little wonky when Black Tide did not break alertly, and as is the case with so many front runners, just kind of lost interest when he couldn't get the lead. Look for those prices on the website shortly. We're back at Keeneland for race 2.
Already up to fiduciary values. Values I have none of at 2-1, as this one currently your favorite for this second race. Key Moment went through an 0 for 10 maiden. Here's Gem Lover.
Gem Lover, a first-time starter here, and will be followed shortly by the number 4, Abstain. Big price right now at 22-1. Hasn't been able to get through this maiden level in the last 8 starts.
Abstain, is that even a real word? Absolute Love is 5-2. Brian Hernandez Jr. in the irons.
And the number 6, She's So Bossy, for trainer Tim Gleishaw, stretching out from sprint to route today. We'll see if that can improve her.
Playful Union for Brendan Walsh and Corey Lannery. 5-1. Has been plugging away at this level for a couple of starts now.
And we wrap things up with the number 8, Woody's Reward, a filly that doesn't possess much early speed. She'll be hoping for that pace to come back to her today.
That's your field for race number 2. We're 6 minutes out. Start of the pick 4. You saw the ticket from Gabby. It's available on the website. Also available on said website. All your wagering needs. This race right now, slightly favoring fiduciary values. And I'm not surprised with Joe Sharp, because a big drop in class from the most recent effort. But when this one was in Chad Brown's barn, they had this filly in a maiden claimer at Saratoga, and she was beaten by almost 20.
Yeah, she was bad that day. So the question is, which race do you believe? Do you believe her debut, where she got a good number and ran okay against quality company, or do you believe the performance on the sloppy steel track at Saratoga, where she was beaten 18 lengths in a 5-horse field? So she's a tough one to like for sure, but Joe Sharp, he's an aggressive trainer. He claimed her for $40,000. He maybe thought that she would improve on the turf. That wasn't the case. They tried her on it last time out, and now they're just getting realistic and dropping her back in class. I just thought that she made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's tempting to say they're punting on her because they bought her for 40. They go long on the turf, and they're like, yeah, let's go in for 30 and put her on the main track. Yeah, take blinkers off. All right. But, you know, he hits it about 25% on the year, and that's because, one, he knows what he's doing, and two, like you mentioned, he's aggressive with the way he plays them. All high-percentage barns are like that. They all do the same thing. They put their horse in spots where they can win. It's one of the most important things you can do. So you can't just summarily dismiss this horse's chances and say, well, they guessed and they guessed wrong, so we're going to take a pass, because this might be the spot where she finds the winner's circle. And
if you're basing your opinion on her lone dirt try on a fast main track, it's her best race to date, and that's the conditions that she gets back here today, and that was a very, very strong race. So I think that she is a logical contender in here, and I have a lot of confidence in her, enough so to just use 2 in the first leg of the pick 4.
We are going to take a quick break. When we return to Keeneland, it'll be time for the pick 4.
By 6 on debut, with the promise of bigger things to come. Justify, he's on a dizzying ascent to greatness.
What do you do when the experts compare you to legends?
Justify has won the Kentucky Derby. He's unstoppable. He won the Preakness. Justify is the 13th Triple Crown winner.
You justify it.
Shadwell Farm, home to world-class stallions, presents 2 young stars. Mo Heyman, undefeated 2-year-old, multiple graded stakes winner at 2 and 3. A dazzling son of Tappet, winner of his first 5 career starts, 4 in graded stakes. Grade 1 winner, Tamarcuz, winner of the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. This son of Speightstown was a top international miler that earned over $1.8 million. Shadwell Farm, building speed for the future.
Since 1986, the Maryland Million program has shined a light on Maryland's successful thoroughbred breeding industry. Horses sired by Maryland Million nominated stallions, regardless of foaling location, are eligible to participate in Maryland Million Day races. Jim McKay Maryland Million Day is the highlight of this program, with over $1 million in purses and awards available to eligible runners and stallions. But Maryland Million is more than just one day. Owners of eligible horses are rewarded when their horse wins its first race in the state. Visit MarylandMillion.com for more.
The first Gainesway yearlings by classic winner and sire of sires, Empire Maker, sold for up to $1.35 million at Keeneland September. Empire Maker's Book 1 average of nearly $500,000 led his sire line that includes his Grade 1 winning son, Pioneer of the Nile, and his Triple Crown winning grandson, American Pharaoh. Empire Maker. Gainesway.
Welcome back. You can see them nearing the starting gate here at Keeneland for race number 2. The wagering hasn't changed a whole heck of a lot, but Absolute Love at 0 for 12. What are your opinion of these horses? Because I always want to throw them out and then they beat me. And if I try to use them, they never win. When you get to the 0 for, you can't just be if they're 0 for 10, then you never use them again. Because in this day and age, you see horses winning 0 for 15 at times. I've seen an 0 for 45 win. It happens. I usually take a stand against, and that's what I'm doing in this particular race, even though she is the favorite. It's just because she's been exposed against maiden $30,000 types before, and it's not like she's running superior races as opposed to her competitors here today. It's not like she's an overwhelmingly prospect for a win prospect. So, certain situations are different. I just thought that, she's okay, and I thought a logical horse to maybe take a stand against. I think she's a social animal. She's kind of like to hang out there with her friends. Yeah, for sure. They're going in. Final thoughts, final pick.
I like the 2. I also like the 7, Playful Union, coming back to the dirt and stretching out for Brendan Walsh. He's got good numbers with this type of move, so using those 2, and hopefully we can move forward in the pick 4.
I like the horse that can be named after any and all of my 6 older sisters. She's So Bossy. Let's go to Kurt Becker with the call of race number 2.
And they're off. Abstain between horses. Woody's Reward up on the far outside. Comes forward now to take the lead. Absolute Love forwardly placed to the opening strides. Gem Lover moves up as they head into the first turn, but it will be Woody's Reward with the lead. Woody's Reward clears the inside traffic, gets to the rail, leads it by 2 lengths. Gem Lover second ahead, and then Absolute Love third up on the outside. Fiduciary Values between horses is in 4th. Key Moment hugs the rail in 5th around the first turn. At a gap of 3 to Playful Union, followed by Abstain, and She's So Bossy last, opening quarter 24.44 seconds. Woody's Reward the leader, but Absolute Love starts to draw alongside from second, less than a length, separate the top 2. Fiduciary Values is third, a lane off the rail, looking for more running room, third ahead. Key Moment moves up and has running room to the inside now to take over third. Playful Union follows her path toward the inside. Gem Lover, break of 5, Abstain, She's So Bossy last, 48.3 for the first half mile. Woody's Reward leading Absolute Love 3 parts of a length to the far turn. Gap of 2, Fiduciary Values is third. Key Moment is 4th toward the inside. Playful Union is 5th, swinging toward the outside, 6 lengths from the front. And the lead pair at the quarter pole here is Absolute Love, striding forward, really hasn't been asked for much, and just glides on by for the lead. James Graham gets after Woody's Reward to try to respond to the top of the short stretch, but has lost ground to the new leader, and it is Absolute Love who opens up by 3 lengths. Woody's Reward second by 3, then Fiduciary Values third. Playful Union is 4th. Absolute Love the leader at the 16th pole by 5. Woody's Reward, Fiduciary Values, and then Playful Union. No catching, Absolute Love, who wins it for Brian Hernandez Jr. Woody's Reward home second. Fiduciary Values was third. Playful Union was 4th.
Well, the 13th time was a charm, just like for Mom and Dad, as Absolute Love gets the victory here, breaking the maiden after 12 fruitless ventures to the racetrack previously.
Yeah, I was a little wrong about Absolute Love, that's for sure. But just in general, from a betting prospect, I think as a bettor, you take a stand. You either like these horses or you don't like these horses. I generally don't like these horses. So, you know, I'm out of the first leg of the pick 4, but runaway winner here with Absolute Love getting the perfect trip, and Brian Hernandez getting another victory here at the meet.
I didn't have her either. But hats off to Kenny McPeak and BJ with a nice ride there. Let's get back to Laurel as Kate and Bradar will wrap up the last race and bring you the action coming up in 6 minutes.
Well, who in Maryland doesn't like crab cakes? That's what I'd like to know, as Crab Cakes gets it done for the 2nd consecutive year, though My Magician gave her a test. Nice ride from Forest Voice to come up with the win. The daughter of Great Notion is out of Aunt Elaine, a daughter of Charismatic. She was bred by Buckingham Farm in Maryland, trained by Bernie Houghton, and the winning owner got a chance to chat with Frank shortly after getting her picture taken.
Well, Crab Cakes Double Dips takes the Maryland Million Distaff for the 2nd straight year, joined here by Wayne Chatfield Taylor of Morgan's Ford Farm that owns Crab Cakes. And Wayne, you guys double dipped. You took the Virginia bred races a few weeks back here at Laurel. Now you come back at a Maryland Million race with Crab Cakes. How's that feel?
It feels like uncharted territory for us, I'll tell you right now. This is not familiar territory for us, but this is a wonderful filly, and for her to win this race twice. She was a champion 2-year-old in Maryland. She's a champion 3-year-old in Maryland, and I think she might be a good candidate for champion 4-year-old filly, I think, also. So
she's certainly making that case now. This horse, it was bred by Buckingham Farm, owned by Buckingham. That's Bernie Houghton's aunt. Now you guys have them. Tell the story about how you ended up with Crab Cakes and a number of other runners, please.
Susie started out knowing the Houghtons in the middle 60s, and and she was breaking yearlings. In fact, she broke the 4th dam of crab cakes, as a matter of fact, back then. But that was part. Crab cakes represents actually a breed and race operation that's been going on for more than 2 generations, really, but 9 generations straight of breed and race is what crab cakes represents. As we were starting our farm in the late 70s, we modeled our farm after the Houghtons, I would say, and the journey that they had traveled to get to what they did. But they were strictly breed and race, and we were more oriented towards sales. But always our friendship, we borrowed their fire engine to get married in 41 years ago, as a matter of fact. But anyway, for 15 years, Eddie and Benny said, when we kick the bucket, you're getting the horses. And we didn't take it very seriously. We didn't want anybody to go away, obviously. But when they died, Susie did get the horses, is the thing. And so Crab Cakes was part of that group and part of that same continuation. And we feel so proud to be a member of something that's a path that's still going.
All right, so Wayne Chatfield Taylor, from a breaking horse to a borrowed fire engine to Crab Cakes winning the Maryland Million Distaff for the 2nd consecutive year. Congratulations.
It's my pleasure to see it. Thank you.
Always nice to have someone who is so appreciative of the sport get to celebrate those types of wins, and that is a true fan as well as a good horseman there. As we look at this 4th race, we are going to go to the Dahlia Turf Course for the Maryland Million Lassie, and the 10, 11, 12, 13 scratched from this race. Frank, the horse on the outside, My Sister Sledge, is going to be a single on a lot of tickets, heavily favored in here. But again, outside post position for this 1 mile and an 1/8 turf run, it doesn't make it any easier for her.
No, it doesn't. It has been tough to win from out in the parking lot, which is where her post is. At the same time, she is a horse that she's a little bit tactical. And she really is, on class, she has a substantial advantage here.
My money back special play just went by, and Love's Legend. I thought if anybody could beat the favorite, it was her. We just saw Complete Street go by, as well as Penitence with Sheldon Russell riding for Jonathan Shepard. Saint Main Event is getting a little bit of play in here as well for John Service. You pointed out an interesting stat, or just as far as turf racing goes for John.
Yeah, I mean, John Service is just a fabulous trainer and an absolute win machine wherever he goes. He doesn't win a lot with turf races. I think he's around 10% with turf races, and with first-time turf, he really does not have a good record, which I use that horse as well, St. Main Event, but a little bit of a hard time seeing that horse on top. I also like Love's Legend a little bit, and an interesting side note there, Teddy Mayer, who is the trainer of that horse, he's a lawyer-turned-horse trainer. He gave up his law practice to train horses, and he does a nice job. He's got a small stable, but he works hard, and he takes care of his horses. And I like to see Caramano's back on this horse in this spot. I think she has shown improving form of late, and I think she might run a pretty good race in this spot.
The H-man, Horatio Caramano's
or Special K, as old
Special
Derby
K,
Bill used
exactly.
to call him.
She is a bit of ATM, though. She's a horse that gives you something back every single time she runs.
Absolutely.
Even if she doesn't win, she's right there. And she does like to mix it up a little. She doesn't have to be on the lead, but she's usually in the mix and forwardly placed.
Right, which certainly seems like that may be advantageous at this point. Certainly from the prior turf race, go to the lead and keep on going, seem to work pretty well.
I like her on the track from what I've seen. Love's Legend. She looks bright. She's another one from that kind of legendary sire here as far as Maryland Million Day is concerned, and Maryland breeding in general, not for Love.
Absolutely.
Out of Lizzie's Legend, who's the daughter of City Zip, and she was bred by Two Legends Farm and Sycamore Hall thoroughbreds, so kind of a melding of two powerhouses in that respect.
Yeah, for sure. And Sycamore Hall is the operation of Richard Golden, who owns Northview Stallion Station, where Not for Love stood. So certainly this is sort of high-end connections here.
The owners, in fact, and this would be fitting, I would think, on Maryland Million Day, their silks are the state flag of Maryland.
I'd say that you had Crab Cakes as your race 3 hunch play. You got Love's Legend with the Maryland flag silks. You will not be able to miss this horse. If she's anywhere in the mix, she will be very easy to find, and absolute hunch play there as well.
Anybody else besides the ones we've spoken of, my sister, that could give My Sister Sledge a real test if she comes up with her big A game?
I don't know if there's anybody I particularly like to beat her beyond what we've talked about. I did use in a bottom spot Magician's Vanity here, the one horse. She never ever wins. She's 2 for 44, but she's run a ton of good races. She's been in the money 19 other times. Mike Trombetta puts her in here. He's got Trevor McCarthy up. Trevor, as we've discussed, is as good as there is around here. So I think this horse may outrun those odds a little bit.
She actually had the lead on a yielding turf course at Saratoga in a condition claiming race until the top of the stretch, and then got swallowed up just a little bit. But that, at 13-1 odds, is not a bad race, and I think puts her in the mix, to be sure, especially if she can run equally well on a yielding or softer ground here. It's listed good, but again, at this time of the year in particular, it's got a lot of moisture in it. This is the type of turf course that horses either like or they don't.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right.
We are going to step away as the horses get a little closer to post time. We're counting down to the Maryland Million Ladies coming up in just a minute.
What I like most about our Run Happy Whelan is from day one he's always been a very quality individual. Once you turn him loose in the field, he's all man and stands out. You put a lead rope on him and bring him back in. He's an absolute gentleman to be around.
Arabian Song's foal really stands out. She's been conformationally issue-free, probably the most leg that any of her foals have had.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known secrets about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. Call right now for your free book, and as a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report. We researched over 1,200 annuities and summarized the rates and benefits of annuities from financially strong insurers. Again, that's Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and a free annuity rate report, both absolutely free, for calling Annuity General today. Supplies are limited. Call now.
Call 800-736-5802. That's 800-736-5802.
Classic Empire. Roy H. in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Sam Marcos will win it. Rushing Bull has done it.
For the WinStar Win program, it was a big, big day. That's the finest breeding program in Central Kentucky.
Off in the ladies. Clean Brave for a Complete Saint, along with Love's Legend and My Vixen, and Hot Frisia with early foot on the inside as well. Joined on the outside by Saint Main Event, is not far from the front. Then it's Magician's Vanity near the inside. Here's My Sister Sledge, a 3-5 favorite, allowing the speed to go on and dropping some 8 lengths off the pace as they move to the turn run. Back of the pack, they have Penitence on the inside and Forgiving on the outside in last position now, and about 13 off that lead. My Vixen, who goes solo. My Vixen a length and a half from Love's Legend, and Hot Frisia is in third. Saint Main Event out of the clear there in fourth, and Magician's Vanity is in fifth. Complete Saint, My Sister Sledge, still about 8 lengths from the pacemaker out there. The opening quarter went in 24.12 with about 5 furlongs left to go. No challenge yet for My Vixen, who leads about a length and a half from Love's Legend in second, and Hot Frisia is in third. Saint Main Event and Magician's Vanity in between horses. Now My Sister Sledge trying to get underway after a 49.48 half mile. My Sister Sledge about 4 deep for the far turn run with about 6 to make up on My Vixen and Victor Carrasco. But here comes My Sister Sledge on the outside with a sudden burst of speed. Has moved into third. Love's Legend is chasing My Vixen around the turn. My Sister Sledge, Magician's Vanity right there with a fighting shot from fourth. Another 3 is Complete Saint in fifth. And Penitence from the back of the pack, passing a few horses at the top of the stretch. They make the turn for home now. Into the stretch. stretch, and it's Love's Legend, but My Sister Sledge on the outside. My Vixen is trying to stay down to the inside. Magician's Vanity battles onto the center of the course in fourth, and they've got a furlong left to go, and it's My Sister Sledge just in front from the hard-trying My Vixen. My Vixen coming back on the inside. My Sister Sledge wanted in a photo last year. Looks like another photo coming up. My Sister Sledge to win it by a head from My Vixen second, and then it was Magician's Vanity, followed by St. Main Event and Penitence in another photo.
3 to 5 favorite My Sister Sledge gets the money, but not for lack of effort. By 60 to 1 shot, My Vixen, who ran a great race. 9-3-1 is how they went. Prices after the break.
TVG's coverage of Keeneland Racing is brought to you by WinStar Farm. Buy, breed, train. WinStar. Visit WinStarFarm.com. TVG's coverage of Jim McKay Maryland Million Day is brought to you in part by Country Life and Maryland Farms, the Alzheimer's Association, Sagamore Spirit Rye Whiskey, and Marion DuPont Scott Equine Medical Center.
Imagine Kentucky without the horse industry and the thousands of jobs it creates. Imagine our schools, roads, and services deprived of the more than $1 billion annually horses generate for our economy. Fortunately, we've got someone in Washington who won't let that happen. As chairman of the Bipartisan Congressional Horse Caucus, Andy Barr is working to protect Kentucky's signature horse industry. Andy Barr, our voice for the men and women keeping Kentucky's unbridled spirit alive. Friends of Racing is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The first Gainesway yearlings by classic winner and sire of sires, Empire Maker, sold for up to $1.35 million at Keeneland September. Empire Maker's Book One average of nearly $500,000 led his sire line that includes his Grade 1 winning son, Pioneer of the Nile, and his Triple Crown winning grandson, American Pharaoh. Empire Maker. Gainesway.
People ignore the fact that the breeders are taking gambles. You have to take care of your breeders. That's the backbone of this industry. I need to provide for the breeder the best investment program I can. Share the upside. I've had a lot of people tell me they're glad they did it. You have people here, they have a farm and they need to sell their foals and they need to have a chance of making money. I'm proud of what's happened here. I think that we're just in the beginning stages. I'm excited really about the future.
EquineLine.com gives you access to real-time pedigree, racing, and sales data from around the world when you need it most. EquineLine.com.
This Breeders' Cup News Update is brought to you by Shadwell Farm, building speed for the future.
Well, some updates on the Breeders' Cup contenders coming out of New York, courtesy David Grenning of the Daily Racing Form. Busy day yesterday as we had Code of Honor making a work for Shug McGahee. Code of Honor pointed toward the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He had an impressive work yesterday with John Velasquez in the irons. Now, should Code of Honor make his way to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, that'll be the first juvenile starter for Shug in 17 years. The last, Sarland, circa 2001. He didn't finish very well, but this horse is looking excellent. He's been training well. Shug is very pleased with the way he came out of this work. One more drill before he would actually make his way to Churchill Downs on October the 29th. But once again, Johnny V was up. We have the splits. Is 4 furlongs in 48.79, galloped out in 1 minute and 4 and 1:13 and 2 for the 6 furlongs. And once again, this is his second to last work or penultimate work before the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Also in the turf sprint division, Pure Sensation will be skipping, according to trainer Christophe Clement. He's been in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint the last 3 years, and he's only about a length and a half, 2 lengths away from winning it in 2 of those years. But he did not come out of his last race particularly well. Christophe Clement has the 7-year-old gelding with a career in front of 2018, and he says if he wants this horse to last, he's going to have to take care of him, and this horse needs a little bit time off. So he will be turned out for a bit, and when he makes his way back to the races, we'll see him in 2019 at the age of 8. But Pure Sensation has been declared as skipping this year's Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. We also have some notable workers at Churchill Downs today. Monomoy Girl worked 5 furlongs in 1 minute and 1. The splits were 12 and 4, 24 and 3, 36 and 2, 48 and 3, and 113 and 2. In the Turf Sprint division that Pure Sensation is defecting from as of right now, Bucaro, 4 furlongs and 48 and 3. The splits were 12 and 1, 24 and 4, 36 and 3, and he galloped out 5 furlongs in 102 flat. And then in the sprint division, the talented 3-year-old Promises Fulfilled, working for Dale Romans, 48 flat, 4 furlong works, galloped out in 1 minute and 3. All of them hitting the track at Churchill Downs this morning. There was some rain in the Lexington area, not a terribly busy morning here at the Keeneland racetrack as far as Breeders' Cup workers. Those are all your news and notes here on the Shadwell Breeders' Cup News Update.
All right, Mike, thanks very much. And all of us trying to keep up to the minute on the activity of our Breeders' Cup hopefuls because we're getting close. They're loading up for race number 2 at Gulfstream Park West. This is the beginning of the early 50-cent pick 4 on this Saturday program. Open claimers at the $6,250 level. You know races like this, they write a whole bunch of them at GPW and over at Gulfstream Park, and these horses change hands very rapidly. At the claim box, your current favorite at 9-5 is the 2 Our Sarge, who is first off the claim here for trainer Jorge Delgado, who has won with 4 of his last 9 off the claim with an ROI in excess of $8. This one's not going to help the ROI, but this guy knows how to move them up. Here's Pete Aiello.
And they're off. Silver Chalice breaks the line well. Silver Defense has speed. From between horses, here's Night Duty moving up. And from between horses, Off Duty is offensive-minded. Real logjam on for the lead. That's good news if you're an R. Sarge fan, as he's now off the speed while racing about 3 lengths off the lead. Potashan is next alongside Coal Miner's Son. Solve is last of all as Off Duty gets the lead. Off Duty in front past the half-mile point to half a length better than Night Rhythm, who's racing in second. Silver Chalice is now third. Silver Defense is tucked in fourth. R. Sarge begins to make up some ground from fifth and back sixth. That's Chase Your Dreams. It's a gap of another 3 to Solve ahead of Potashan. Coal Miner's Son is last. Inside 3 furlongs from home as they run to the top of the stretch. Off Duty is under siege. To the outside, and Night Rhythm takes him on. And now Night Rhythm takes an outright lead. Silver Chalice and R. Sarge launching bids, and Silver Chalice gets the lead. R. Sarge set down by Zayas on the outside. Then Silver Defense, who's wheeling off these heels. And there's an 1/8 of a mile to go. R. Sarge up for the lead. Silver Defense rallies to him on the outside. Second, back to third, and Silver Chalice. Final 16th of a mile. R. Sarge digging in. Silver Defense lunging late on the outside. R. Sarge, Silver Defense, photo finish. Was it R. Sarge inside or Silver Defense on the outside? Heads apart to start this early pick 4.
That is too close to call between your 2 betting favorites. The 2-horse Our Sarge, who was the 2-to-1 favorite. Silver Defense was at 5-2. They hit it together. It's a good ride by Romero Mirage on the 3 Silver Defense, who clearly jumped into the bit once he was maneuvered to the outside. 2-3 or 3-2 in that one at Gulfstream Park West. Over at Belmont, horses have reached the starting point for race number 4. It's the Hudson Handicap, 3-year-olds and up, going 6.5 furlongs here. Look at that tote. A lukewarm 3-to-1 favorite here is the 8-horse Gold for the King. 6 for 16 lifetime, very consistent performer, but only 1 for 5 there at Belmont Park. My top pick here is at 7-2. That is Celtic Chaos. Do not look for this guy early. He is a deep closer, but he can come with a furious finish. Eric Cancel in the irons there. We go to Larry Colmus for the call of the 4th.
My Boy Tate steps up. And a runaway Loot and Javier Castellano will come up to the outside stall and complete the line. Goes in. They're all in line. A couple of them acting up in the inside part of the gate. Looks like the Caretaker and Long Haul Bay have both opened up the front of their stalls. The Caretaker's gate will be closed. Long Haul Bay didn't quite open up the front of his, but we're just about ready for the start.
They're off in the Hudson. And it's the Caretaker who comes out quickly with I Love Lulu and Long Haul Bay from the inside, then Candid Desire and Runaway Loot on the far outside, followed by My Boy Tate, Break of Two to Gold for the King, and Celtic Chaos at the back of the pack. Up front, the Caretaker and I Love Lulu. Runaway Loot confronts them 3 wide, then Long Haul Bay 4th in behind them. And they're followed by My Boy Tate, who's just 3 lengths behind. Then Gold for the King going up on the far outside, 4 wide through a 23.13 opening quarter mile. The pace not all that fast here. And then comes Candid Desire in a rail run for Celtic Chaos, who is 6 lengths off the lead as Runaway Loot takes charge here. Javier Castellano and Runaway Loot get away to a 2-length lead. And then it's My Boy Tate, Gold for the King, I Love Lulu, and right between horses comes the Caretaker. Celtic Chaos is behind that wall of horses. Then Long Haul Bay on the inside, and they're into the stretch. 46.18 the half, and Runaway Loot comes to the 8th pole with a 3-length lead. Gold for the King. Second on the outside, Celtic Chaos tries to put in a bid. Down toward the inside comes I Love Lulu. Javier Castellano going to work on Runaway Loot, trying to hold off this competition. Can he do it? Runaway Loot's going to get there, and Javier Castellano has won 5,000 career races. He did it in the Hudson on Runaway Loot, and then it was Gold for the King and Celtic Chaos.
986 is unofficial. That winner just bounced me out of the pick 4, but you know what? I can't feel too badly about it because I got to watch Javier Castellano notch the 5,000th win of his remarkable career, and he does it in typical Javier style. He backed the pace up. He had plenty to finish with. A lot of determined closers simply could not get to Runaway Loot, who gave him the slip. He was coming off a big win, was Runaway Loot, going 7/8 at Belmont on the 4th of July. He won that race by better than 4 lengths with a career best buyer figure of 103. But here he is climbing into stakes company where thus far he has had limited success. Javier makes the difference, and he is at 5-1. Fittingly, 5-1, win number 5,000 for jockey Javier Castellano. 986 is how they went, and I'm sure that they'll be celebrating in the winner's circle along with Javier for that milestone win. Let's return to Mike Joyce at Keeneland. Horses on the track for race number 3.
Got a maiden special weight affair here for 2-year-old fillies going a mile and a 16th on the turf. I'm sweeping in, leads the post parade. There's Sister Kitten, who's most likely your favorite, currently 6-5.
Yeah, she had definitely the look of maybe an overbet favorite coming out of that newspaper of record race. We just saw the number 3, Scat, Rattle, and Roll, and the number 4, Free to Fly right now at 9-1.
Yes, Free to Fly for Norm Cassie. I'm hoping you have information on that one. There's Silver Kitten going through a first-timer, another first-timer in Grand Area. Lasting memory, for what it's worth, private clocker Bruno DiGiulio gave this one a 4-star work. The filly by declaration of war for Troy Wismer. And you can chalk the high price up to lesser-known connections here at Keeneland. Troy Wismer and Jack Gilligan are not going to get the kind of play that some of the other names in this race will.
Yeah, with that inside information, you're still getting 36-1 odds. We saw Hidden Facts pass by and the number 9, Solar Kitten. Right now we're looking at Silent Surprise at 25-1.
Vasilisa is 25-1 for Mikhail Yanikov. And there's a B-Bit on the outside, another one for the Norm Cassie barn. So this one in the historic silks of Calumet Farm. Actually, the silks aren't historic. They just changed them like 10 years ago. But the farm is historic. And the 24-1 the odds on this firster on the outside. Okay, did you guys discuss over the dinner table last night if Free to Fly was live here?
We did. Well, she's a tricky one. She really is, because we actually thought that she would run a lot better than what she did first time out. And then kind of disappointed after that debut, but I went back and watched the replay, and she just broke way too slowly. And if you watch how the race was run, there were no horses that made up any bit of ground. So I thought that that was up against her, and also she was a bit tardy coming out of the gate. And I would imagine she's going to be a lot quicker out of the gate today, going a mile and a 16th. So yes, I mean, I know that Norm has thought highly of her in the past, and I hope that she just kind of reaches those expectations a little bit more.
Does she have a thing for French men? Because she debuted with Julian and now Florence in the irons.
I guess so. I don't know what to say about that.
Okay. All right, and then you have another one at a bigger price, the first timer by English Channel, B-Bit on the outside for the Calumet Farm. What have we learned about this filly?
She's been training a lot better in her last couple of works. She looks like the light bulb's starting to click a little bit, but what do you do with that outside post position? We have seen post positions from 10, 11, 12, or even more outside of that at a mile and a 16th on the turf here. You can't win. So I think the expectations here is to get one race into her, get her fit, because, I mean, you're going to have to be much the best and try to be very lucky to work out a trip from that post.
And I know you're having a hard time with this race because you have more numbers on the top of your program than a UPC symbol. So you got an 8, 2, 4, 3, 12. Did you leave anyone out?
A couple. No, but I actually do really like the number 8, Hidden Facts, and 7-2 I think is a fair price on her. Her last race at Saratoga was very good, Mike, because it was a hot pace. She stopped that hot pace. There were two kind of dueling on the front end. Those two faded to about last. She unfortunately had to be put in that precarious position where she made the first move into that hot pace, and then she just got killed at the wire by Speedy Solution, who came back to, I believe, run in the Jessamine. So that was a good race, and I thought she ran very, very well, not to mention she's got speed, and speed is useful on the turf.
Well, they're still betting Sister Kitten down at 6-5, and I gets it, because a filly who was pretty good in her debut, live race, newspaper of record, would come back and score. So you've got a lot to go on with that. But 6-5 seems like an abysmally short price in this field.
Here's the thing. Newspaper of record, she is excellent. She looks like she's supremely talented for trainer Chad Brown. She's probably going to be the favorite in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf. That said, she won by 6 3/4. So in that type of race, you need to look what was behind Sister Kitten, who finished second. And all that I could find was one filly who came out of that race to win at Presque Isle. So that's where I think that, you know, the betting public is saying she finished second to newspaper of record, but in reality, the bigger question is, who else did she beat?
Yeah. Okay, somebody had to be second. I mean, she was almost 7 lengths in her wake. I need to correct myself. I called it fast and firm earlier. I wasn't even thinking about the turf course. I just knew it was a fast main track. It is a yielding turf course. It started raining right around the last race yesterday. It rained through the evening and into the morning. So there has been a considerable amount of moisture onto this turf course. They're calling it yielding. Amazingly, there's been hardly any scratches on the turf today. Yeah. So the horsemen are still supporting this surface despite the fact that it's come up a little cut in the grass. We'll see how it performs here. You do have a couple of horses that have faced a similar type surface in their past, most notably the favorite. And
Kitten's Joys. They absolutely love these types of surfaces. A little bit of give in the ground, they just have a tendency to skip right over it. So from a pedigree standpoint, I think you have to give those Kitten Joys a little bit of an upper hand. But, you know, it's a big question. Not always do we see horses who like a yielding track at Saratoga translate that to the fall here at Keeneland.
Don't forget, the Super 8 starts with the 6th race here at Keeneland. Almost 15,000 people have already entered for free. The price is right, and if you're right, you can make up $100,000. Check it out at TVG.com. You got about an hour, 38 minutes. One guy who got 8 of 8 and made the $100,000 payday come true, he made his picks in about 45 seconds. Essentially, it was a human quick pick.
Don't overthink it.
Exactly. Do you handicap the Powerball? No.
Nope.
Just go play the Super 8. Final thoughts on this bunch as they go in?
You know, I'm curious to see what Sister Kitten is made of right now. She's being bet to be something pretty special at 4-5, but I'm still going to stick to my guns and stick with the 8 Hidden Facts. I thought she ran a very good race last time out at Saratoga.
I am going to give you lasting memory at 45-1 as my play in this race.
I like it.
You like it?
I like it.
Okay, they're just about set to go in, and we've got a few left to load. Kurt Becker will bring you the rest of the load and the call here. Race number 3. Good luck.
They are at the post, and they're off. Sister Kitten away in good order. Scat, Rattle, and Roll right there in the opening strides. Hidden Facts moves up in the center of the course. Free to Fly is there, moving up down toward the inside. Then Silent Surprise. Hidden Facts from the outside has the lead to the first turn. And Free to Fly goes second down toward the inside. Silent Surprise stays outward from the rail in third. Lasting Memory will save ground to the inside in fourth. Vasilisa fifth, around Scat, Rattle, and Roll in sixth. Sister Kitten gets the shuffle back to the inside in seventh. Solar Kitten is eighth on the outside of that one. Silver Kitten is ninth in between horses. Grandaria wide and 10th off the first turn. Sweeping in back toward the rail. 11th B-Bit is 12th and last. 24.59 seconds for the opening quarter. Hidden Facts the leader. Hidden Facts on top by a length. Up the backstretch, Free to Fly second a length. The Silent Surprise third ahead. Lasting Memory fourth to the inside. Vasilisa far outside is in fifth. 4 lengths off the lead. And then further back, Scat, Rattle, and Roll in sixth. Here's Sister Kitten, seventh toward the inside, and still 7 from the front. 50.35 seconds for the first half mile over the yielding turf. Into the fire turn they go. Hidden Facts the leader by just a length. Free to Fly a second a length. The Silent Surprise, Lasting Memory fourth toward the inside. Vasilisa fifth toward the outside, still 6 from the front. Scat, Rattle, and Roll comes next. Sister Kitten is down toward the rail, still 8 lengths to make up, and Hidden Facts moves wide off the turn. All kinds of room for Silent Surprise to come up the inside to challenge Hidden Facts, who straightens course toward the outside now, still has a narrow lead, and Silent Surprise is trying to catch her toward the inside. A gap of 6 back to Free to Fly. Sister Kitten is fourth. Hidden Facts ahead in front. Silent Surprise still trying toward the inside. Sister Kitten far back in third. Silent Surprise up the inside. Silent Surprise. C.J. McMahon to win it at 52-1.
Silent Surprise making noise at over 50-1. What an upset here in race 3.
We have seen some huge long shots win so far at the Keeneland Fall Meet, and add this one to the long list. The number 10 Silent Surprise, I believe 52-1. She got a great trip too. I mean, really no excuses. But I will say, one excuse from Hidden Facts, she blew the turn, didn't she?
Yes. She took a wide turn for home, and you saw Julien Leparoux with his hands full, trying to save as much ground as he could after she went about 6 paths wide, and then re-engaging with a 52-1 shot that would just be too game. Wow. C.J. McMahon in the irons of this filly by Cairo Prince getting the victory. 52-1, one of the longest prices in the entire race. I'm not sure there are any horses at a bigger price. There's a look at her, your unofficial winner of race number 3, as my friend and colleague who will be succeeding me on the set here would say, big balloons in race number 3 here at Keeneland. Let's get back to Rich Perloff.
All right, Mike, thanks very much. Silent Surprise blowing up the tote in race number 3 at Keeneland. Let's go back to Belmont Park. You know, these jocks, even when they do something noteworthy, which Javier Castellano just did, they don't really get to pause. He's got 6 more horses to ride, but let us appreciate the moment. 5,000 wins for a guy who has been at the top of his profession for many, many years. And I'll tell you what, it won't be too many more years before he's holding up the 6,000 win sign. He's that good. He's riding as well as he ever did, and there he is. A number of other jockeys visited Javier in the winner's circle to share the moment with him, and he prevails in the Hudson Handicap with Runaway Loot at odds of 5-1. Runaway Loot, that's back-to-back scores now for that 4-year-old son of 2-time Breeders' Cup Sprint champion Midnight Loot. Gary Contessa trained the winner there for Harold Lerner and the Niehawk Stables. Lots more state-bred stakes races to come. We go on to race number 5 at Belmont, which is the $200,000 Ticonderoga Stakes. Fillies and mares 3 and up going a mile into 16th on the good inner turf course. Scratch the one, we gets to Monies, who was entered main track only. The tote looks to me the way this race looked to me. La Moneda and 55 seem to tower over this field. 55, 6 for 15 lifetime. La Moneda has won her last 4. You can get by those two, you will get paid. Just about 20 minutes till the Ticonderoga Stakes on Empire Showcase Day. It is Jim McKay Maryland Millions Day at Laurel. Let's go back to Kate and Bradar there.
Our unsung hero
I've so enjoyed chatting with Mike Gill, the Secretary of the Maryland Department of Commerce, and for you, this opportunity to come out and see one of the many areas of commerce for Maryland, but also a fun opportunity to spend a day at the races.
It's awesome, Kate, isn't it? I mean, a beautiful day. It's more blue sky than clouds.
Exactly. It's pleasant. It's been colder, so I'm very happy that the sun is peeking through. And you were just telling me that the same could be said for thoroughbred horse racing, and particularly here at Laurel and in the state of Maryland. That sun is peeking through. Things are looking up.
You know, Kate, not too many years ago, I'd probably say as recently as 10 or 12, horse racing was closer to being extinct than us being a real player in thoroughbred horse racing. And then all of a sudden, through the gaming industry, through something called VLT, where we're able to allocate dollars to the thoroughbred industry, brought the purses back. Trainers and owners are going to want to be where the purses are. The investment that the Stronachs have made in Laurel to continue to keep Laurel as a really quality product. There's just, all of a sudden we went from, are we going to be around for another decade, to where we're back in play again as a really great state for thoroughbred horse racing.
When you walk around this facility and you see, we were talking about some of the improvements, I know you might try to sneak up and watch a little bit of the Clemson game in that brand new sports book.
That's a great looking screen.
It is. It's tremendous. But what are your thoughts? What do you feel and see when you walk around today?
You know what, when you walk around and you see the improvements that have been made, and you and I were talking a little bit earlier about, I used NFL as an example of a sport where the fan attendance has slipped some. So 32 NFL football teams are focused on the customer experience. And I think when you walk around Laurel today with the improvements, it's almost as if in the good old days, the customer was somebody with a rolled up newspaper under their arm and maybe a little derby hat on and a 16-ounce beer. Well, now the customers are they're men, they're women, they're younger, they're older. They are new at the game. They've been around the game. There's something for everyone. And I think that's really what the owners of racetracks today are recognizing is there's another audience out there to pursue.
Well, happy to have you as part of that audience as well as participant here today. It's always a treat. And you mentioned to me that you had dabbled, I would say, in some horse ownership. Will you make a wager or two on today's card, or will you just be an observer?
Well, I'm down one. Down one. The third race, Mike Jr., he said, Dad, I really like a 7-1-6 and a straight, but I wouldn't bet big, Dad. So I took 7-1-6. 7 did win, but I'm not sure 1 and 6 came in. But it wasn't place and show.
If you got the winner, I'll give you that, and that's a start for the day. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you. Great to see you, Caden.
Mike Gill from the Maryland Secretary of Commerce here, and one of the many participants in this great day on Maryland Million Day.
All right, Caden, thank you very much. Coming up on race number 5 on Jim McKay Maryland Millions Day, it's the Maryland Millions Sprint Handicap. $100,000 on the line, 3/4 of a mile. Now, all these scratches are because everything beyond post position number 8 was on the also eligible list here. So 9 through 14 were all AEs. They come out, as does the 5. More abundance, leaving us with a field of 7. Caton taking a shot here on the rail with one more great time, but the bettors are all over the 2-horse Lewisfield, who was 5th last time out, but that was the Grade 3 DeFrancis Memorial at Laurel on September 22nd. Lewisfield, 5 for 12 lifetime, 4 for 7 at Laurel. And see, here's where I go looking for state-bred races. And what I see here is that when Lewisfield finds himself up against state-breds, he is a very tough customer. Kate Bradar has got her eye on the horses on the track. 5-1 on your prospect here, Kate, and that's a nice number.
I know that he's got Lewisfield right.
It is, Rich, and in fact, that is also Frank's horse, too. And we were kind of diagramming the way this race would play out, and Lewisfield is the 2-5 favorite, right next to One More Great Time. Both horses with some speed, but Lewisfield to me must have the lead to be able to win. And because of that, because of One More Great Time to the inside with a lot of speed, and some others to the outside with potentially some speed, I don't know that Lewisfield is going to get the easiest time of it. I also wasn't encouraged by his DeFrancis dash. Granted, it was a tougher field than what he's facing here, but I did think that I would have liked to have seen just a little bit more. He never made the lead, and he really didn't run anything close to what he had done before. So I'm not sure that's the way you want to come into this. That said, it's a short price if you want to take that chance, whereas One More Great Time, Frank, as you rejoin me, it's over 4 at the distance, but I just have a feeling that he can maybe even get a breather off the break and take advantage of that inside position.
Well, and you go back, 0 for 4, but you look 2 back in the start, and Askra runs a good second to where she told me to go. Where she told me to go, turns around, almost wins the Grade 3 Gallant Bob. Savage is the horse, so becomes sort of a horse celebrity for all that, but that's a terrific effort. Yeah, I was a little disappointed in the last one when he kind of stopped and ended up 3rd in an allowance company, but I think if he can bounce back to what he showed 2 back, he's very live in this spot. And I was a little concerned with Lewisfield as well, and I may be reading too much into this, but Boca Chica is regular rider, only rider who's ever been on him for a breeze, only rider who's ever been on him in a race, isn't here today, but he stays back in Charlestown's riding tonight. Might be nothing, but made me a little concerned that this horse might not bring his very best game.
Victor Carrasco is going to be on the 4, No More Talk. If you were looking for a horse to not be on the lead, this would be the one. I think No More Talk has run successfully at Timonium, ran very nice second-place finish from a little off the pace, and coming off the mile race, I don't believe is going to show the same speed.
No, I think that's right. I think he'll be running on late. A horse that I'm using in here a little bit with some back class, but not much to show lately, is Great Bulls of Fire, the Hammy Smith trainee. That horse looked like a super talented 2-year-old and had some injuries, this and that, hasn't really gone on. I'm thinking this horse may yet come back to that kind of talent.
Great Bulls of Fire, a couple of 5th-place finishes of late, but against some pretty tough fields. And Hammy Smith, you're always looking for an angle with Hammy Smith. 3rd start off the layoff has been a very, very good and productive angle for him. You know he's been pointing for a spot like this.
Yeah, you know he's coming back for this race, and you're right. I mean, Hammy does some things, you scratch your head a little bit, and then they work out.
Then they work.
And so you got to think this horse will run well if he's putting him in here.
We've got Mario Pino on One More Great Time for Frank and I on the rail. A nice price at 4-1, but the favorite is going to be Lewisfield at 2-5 as the last couple move into line for this, the Maryland Million Sprint. We head upstairs to Dave Rodman.
Two to load, Chinkapin, Stolen Love. Stolen Love. Lined up. Off in the sprint. One More Great Time, and Lewisfield out 1-2, firing by the lead, and Chinkapin is in 3rd, and Great Bulls of Fire right to the inside of that one. Air followed by No More Talk and Religan Question, and Stolen Love is in the back. As the speed up front is One More Great Time, and Lewisfield right there, the big favorite alongside, just a half length behind in 2nd. Another 3, and Great Bulls of Fire is in 3rd. Religan Question pushing to the inside, and it's No More Talk next, and Chinkapin 3 deep of the turn, and Stolen Love yet to get going from last into the far turn. One more great time in Lewisfield. 21.70 was that opening quarter mile. They're really flying up front. They're 5 lengths clear from Great Bulls of Fire in third, but Lewisfield is doing it well and scorching past the quarter pole and heading for home after a 44.27 half mile. Turns it on, pours it on, opens it up by 3 by 4. Here's Lewisfield powering down the Laurel stretch. Lewisfield, this is going to be a powerhouse performance from Lewisfield and Heavy on Toledo. Lewisfield leaving them in the dust. Lewisfield by 8, by 9 lengths from Great Bulls of Fire. Lewisfield and an affectionate pat from Heavy on Toledo to win in 109.08.